Texas Card House brings you the premier poker experience in Austin, Texas. With a full up to 50 poker tables. Get ready for the grand opening, coming to Austin, Texas on August 28th. For full details, visit texascardhouse.com. Good. Get in the $30,000 guaranteed first-hand tournament for a $100 buy-in. $10,000 added to first place, all part of the grand opening of TCH Social Austin. TCH Social Austin's grand opening, $300,000. Guaranteed multi-flight tournament runs from August 29th through September 2nd. Get into any of the 12 flights with a $250 buy-in. TCH Social Austin presents the $50,000 Black Chip Bounty Tournament on Labor Day, September 2nd. $300 buy-in. Cards in the air at 2 p.m. Buy one, get one-time match. Up to $500. This deal is only available for the first 300 members checked in on August 28th at the TCH Social Austin grand opening. On August 28th, get your Texas Card House annual membership for only $10. That's a 97% discount from $300. Only on opening day and only at TCH Social Austin. On August 28th in Austin, Texas, $500 high hands every 15 minutes. Over $10,000 in giveaways. Starting at 12 p.m. only on the opening day of TCH Social Austin.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday 2-5 No Limit Hold'em game at TCH Houston. I am DT. I will be your guide for this evening. Welcome. Glad to have everybody back. Go through some player introductions. We got a good game for y'all in store today. In seat 1, we have local legend back at it again, MF. In seat 2, we have Andy. In seat 3, we have Bear. Seat 4 is TN. Seat 5, Justin. Seat 6, Isaac. Seat 7, Catman himself. And in seat 8, Real Deal. And right into it, we got some big hands going at it. Real Deal 3-betting the Kings and Catman defending the 10-9. No waiting. Top set for Real Deal. It's going to be hard for him to make some money on this. But Catman's capable of making some moves. Not going to. Decides not to early on in the stream. Shows him the Kings. Welcome. Going to be an action-packed game tonight. The starting stacks are massive for a 2-5 game. I believe the straddles will be on as well throughout the evening. Yes, Petrol, I'll give a shout out to Petrol's grandmother. Thank you. Glad to have all of y'all in chat with me. Thanks for those of y'all that are just joining me now. Looks like we now have a full game. New player in seat 9. It's going to be a fun game tonight. At some point in time, I do believe the knit game will be on as well. For those of y'all that do not know the format of this game, it is a 2-5 no limit hold'em game. There is no PLO or double board bomb pots, just straight hold'em. Straddles are allowed under the gun only, and you can straddle for any amount, and they're unlimited straddles. You can keep straddling if you want, further and further. We have the Bear value betting bottom pair, getting raised by Catman's second pair.
Jack. Good. Nuts. Next value.
And he got called by bottom pair. That Catman was right. That is indeed max value. Welcome, John Martinez. Glad to have you in the chat. Never actually been to Rivers Casino before.
Again? Oh, perfect. Again.
I've been to Chicago plenty of times, but never gambled or played poker there. Traveled mostly for other things. Ate some pretty good food, but never poker. And it looks like they're gonna start the knit game. And for those of y'all that do not know the knit game, each player will get a token. And whenever a player wins a hand, they get to relinquish that token. And the last person holding a token will pay a bounty. Typically, it's around $25 per person, and that'll go into the next pot after that person is, it gets down to that last person as a splash pot. So it creates a lot of action. And the ego helps the knit game. A lot of people care more about losing the knit game than actually giving up the $200. Me personally, I can attest to that. I would much rather fight and bluff off $1,000 than get the last one stuck with a button. It's all fun and games. I think the knit games become the most universal, I guess, mini game that people play at poker tables now. You see a couple of different variations of it, but it's still pretty much the most popular one. Isaac just open booking his pair. At the right time, Catman limping with his pair right behind. Probably looking to squeeze. Catman does like to see a lot of flops, so this goes right in, and it did not work. Everybody's going to the flop for $10. It's a pretty good board for jacks. You got someone connected with top pair, someone connected with bottom pair. Imagine Catman's going to raise immediately. Yeah. TN with the top pair, good kicker, going to make a call. Tons of hands he could be doing. It's probably going to kill the action a little bit. Turn's probably going to go check. That's a good card for both of them, perceivably. I imagine it's going to go check, bet, call, or bet, call. Yep. And Catman getting rid of his knit button with the jacks. Getting max value, too, from top pair, basically. I don't blame the call. You can beat some nines. But no, these players have been playing for a little bit since before the stream started, so the stack numbers may be a little weird to y'all. Not nice, even numbers. There's been some battling being done. I don't think there's been a whole lot of changes in stack size. No one getting too out of control. Nothing too out of control. It always feels good to be the first person out of the knit game. And for a limped flop, I'm pretty sure Catman's pretty happy with the result because that could have gone way worse. There's so many bad flops for jacks. MF opening up a mystery hand. 10 something. Could be a lot of things. Justin with a big hand in a 3-bet with the ladies. If MF calls, it's most likely something like a suited Broadway, 10-9 suited, or pocket tens. That's pretty much. And I guess all the big pairs are just going to flop top set tonight. Justin continues small. And if MF folds, he's got suited Broadways. But I think he might have a pair of tens based on how he's sitting. Is MF thinking about making a move? He's been pretty spicy lately. I've been playing a lot with MF, and he's been getting at it.
Oh my god. Check.
I don't think it should be allowed.
Check. Give me the fair. Check.
I think when people get out of the net game with the hands like that, it's kind of it's interesting because like whenever people get the walks with like aces or they three bet aces, everyone folds, they show aces, and they get rid of their nit button. Is it? I think you should be able to keep. You should keep your nit button for that one. I don't know. There are all sorts of different things you can do to make the game more interesting. We played a variation where everyone had 2 nit buttons, and that made it a lot more interesting because you were less pressured to get rid of your nit button. Real deal opening up a wheel ace, and VJ through betting him right away with a better ace. Student. Everybody, good to see all this aggression early on. Good signs for the evening. No one flopping anything. Just check through. Real deal with the only spade in his hand. Probably not comfortable with it. VJ gonna take a stab with the betting initiative. Real deal, not giving up. Thinks his ace high could still be good. I want to see the river brick out. Like, it's not really a brick because check. They're chopping, but this is really going to be who wants it most. See if VJ has it in him to bet one more time, and they're going to chop it up. No one gets rid of their net button. I don't really know what VJ was checking behind for. I don't really know what he thinks he beats. If Real Deal had like the naked ace of spades, he could probably get that to fold. Otherwise, you're just chopping. I guess he just doesn't want to expose his stack. No nit button released for either player there. Once again, thank everybody for joining me this evening. How are y'all doing out there tonight? Looking for this action-packed stream tonight. All it's going to take is one. Ah, yes. This is a good question. Not a lot of people understand the game. It is a mini game where everybody gets a token, and to get rid of that token, you have to win a hand. When there's one player remaining with the token, that player pays a bounty or penalty to. And there's 2 different ways. It's either in the form of a splash pot for the next hand, or that player pays out the players individually. But we had it creates a lot of action. People don't want to lose the nit game. They'd rather not lose the nit game than pay out I believe it'll be $200 bounty. And then Andy gets rid of his net button with a rivered set of aces. Real deal, betting small pots over. But seeing lots of big hands early on. It's three top sets so far in the first 9 hands. Kings, queens, aces. You need people to have a little bit worse, and then bam, fireworks.
Super Nick gets aces, waits till the river, does not raise. Yeah, Super Nick. That's what you gotta say.
Just three.
That's a good calling card.
MF with a premium here. Ace King suited, going real big. Well, 7.5. I'm hoping no one calls, just to get rid of his nit button. Isaac's gonna defend it. The Jack 10 off on the button. VJ's got a pair. Definitely not going anywhere. Do a flop 3 ways. Not a great flop for ace king. Isaac flopping the best. Trying to make it look like he has aces or kings. I don't think Isaac can go anywhere yet. To this top pair, can't really raise this large sizing. PJ is probably going to get out of the way. He could make a move. He has the 8 of spades in his hand. No one could have 7-8 or jack 8 of spades. That's an action-killing turn. I think MF will be done with the hand now. So then Isaac's going to take a showdown. If he's up against a big hand, he just wants to pot control, try and get to river. Does MF want to bluff at it? The only way he can win is bluffing. When Isaac checks the turn, he's got a hammer showdown. Oh, and just like that, Isaac gets rid of his net button. I think a bet could have gotten it done. Queen could have been a card MF could have chosen to represent pretty well. Jeffrey, I do not know the answer to that question because I do not know what happened with the stream at Callan. So maybe someone in chat can enlighten you on that. Ten hands in, and we've seen some big hands. Table's a little quiet though. I always like it when the table's talking about nonsensical things and the game's still flowing. It's usually something nonsensical that has absolutely nothing to do with poker. Makes for that's one of my favorite things about poker is just the fun you get to have at the table. It's kind of like hanging out and then playing a game. Maybe you win some, maybe you lose some.
No, I just have the buttons in the 7 seat. There was not. All 5.
MF limping a suited queen. Really trying to get rid of his net button. The bear with a queen 5 offsuit opening it up. Jan coming with the little light 3-bet. And Justin, ace queen in the muck. Kington suited the muck. Getting 2 really good hands to fold and Catman on the button with a suited connector. I imagine once the game progresses a little more, people get a little more comfortable. Justin will figure out that ace queen's probably not a hand that we should just be instantly mucking. Got a couple Texas premiums going. And I guess good fold. Jack 5 flops the best. Pretty good when you 3-bet. Flop something at least. Pair plus flush draw is more than something. Gutter. And nothing for Catman. So probably get it done. And shows it. Justin giving the camera a little look because he knew what he got rid of. Imagine if he had 4-bet, the hand would have just been done there.
It's a dream flop.
Pair and a flush draw. It is a dream flop for that garbage. If I ever raise with Jack 5 of clubs and I can flop a pair and a flush draw, I'll take that outcome.
You were garbage.
Not
Middle set, not special.
they're comparing it to Omaha hands, saying that's equivalent to middle set, not no flush draw. Whereas top pair, good flush draw is a top set and a flush draw. Andy getting after it with a suited king. DJ with a suited jack and MF coming along.
Joshua, did they tell you that your time needs updating?
That's not a bad flop for the 8-6 at double gooder. Andy flopping a pair.
You got,
More chips are going to go into this pot.
Check, 2-bet, 30. Go full. Gotcha. Call 30.
DJ is going to float with jack high. MF's getting a great price. Any 5 or 9
Call.
gives him a straight. It's pretty disguised too. The 5 would be.
Pardon?
Lots of
No,
turns.
yeah.
Some action.
Players to the turn.
Not that one. I do believe that VJ had
9 check.
some devious intentions, but they're probably gone now on this turn. And MF come through with the straight. Got there for about as cheap as he could get there for. VJ's just gonna rep this holding a jack. Everyone else showing not much interest. I imagine MF's gonna raise. VJ. I guess VJ could have jack 8. Just calling with a good shot. MF deciding if he wants to raise or not. DJ probably doesn't have king jack. Well, I don't know. If he has jack deuce here, he could have king jack. So. MF makes the call, and he gets out of the way, and DJ shows the jack high. And just like that, no knit button. Good river for MF. Good river for MF. Probably would have worked if MF had not rivered straight. Probably would have worked. Thank you, Petrol. Please, everybody, if you're watching the stream, like and subscribe. Just give us a like. Give us a like if you like what you see here. Texas Card House brings plenty of great content to everybody throughout the week with streams from various locations. And tonight we're here in Houston, at Texas Card House, Houston, playing some 2-5, mostly 10. I imagine at some point in time we'll get some bigger straddles.
Great, thanks. All right, 4 raise 30, 5 fold, 6 fold.
10 with a reasonable hand now.
7 call,
The
30,
suited 6-5 and Catman with the suited jack.
125, 9 fold. 125 is the total bet. 1 fold.
Andy with a big hand.
2 raise, 325.
And the bear with a suited ace sadly just puts it in the mug. And probably wants to play a big pot. I mean, these suited connectors always look so good when you're super deep with someone. You can just bink something and
4 fold, 7 fold.
real deal calling in position.
What's up?
Catman with the jack 3 would have popped the nuts, basically. Andy gonna continue.
2 bet, 225.
I don't think Real Deal is gonna continue. Andy's a little too shallow. I don't know when. I guess I'm wrong. Real Deal is gonna call it, float a little bit. He has some good turns. 10, he can when check 2, you can bluff on. Queen's obviously good.
2 check.
But I don't
8 bet, 750.
with Andy's stack size in this pot. I don't know if he'll fold. If Real Deal has ace queens, which is he's gonna have a lot of 1 pairs here. You're gonna have a lot of outs. Ironically, he has the best hand. He just doesn't know it. It's hard to make these calls with ace king high, but when you start 4-betting ace king high, can't always give up. Because then when people figure out that you'll always give up, you can do what Real Deal's doing. Only continue with aces, kings, queens, ace jack plus. And he is ahead of basically all the non 10x and 6x flush draws. Oh, he decides that his hand's good enough, and Real Deal's gonna have to side call this off. It's only $88 more. You have open ended. Off to a river they go. This is a good game when you know people are willing to gamble like this. A lot of people don't like ace king, but I mean it's hard to make a pair, as evident here. Hard to make a pair, even though we've seen three top sets. Like they're running it twice. That is all Real Deal. That is all Real Deal. That is all Andy. And Real Deal.
Jacks on the bottom. Ace king on top. King queen straight on top.
Big pot. Chop chop.
I won the first board.
Yes. He will get rid of his knit button. Because he won the first board.
You gotta do the 5 bet, that's all me. I have 5-6 heart. 5-6 suited, I do the 5 bet, that's all me. I have Jack 3. Jack 3? Oh, that's you. 5-6. But Jack 3, you call my open here. That's it.
Could have been a very interesting pot had Real Deal not rebet and it just chosen to call. Could have been a very interesting hand. I see more of y'all joining in stream. Thank y'all. Welcome, welcome. A lovely 2-5 stream at TCH Houston tonight.
You guys want to explain whatever.
Yeah, you know, I normally go one,
There's
two,
a-
but you know,
it-
since you have my house,
There's a lot of what ifs.
Why you go to stream so tight like that? So
They're discussing running it once or twice. Some people always run it once, some people always run it twice. Some people only run it twice when they're ahead, run it once for behind. You can do whatever they want. It's just really funny when people discuss the stuff like that. Oh, you have my outs, I'll run it twice.
Is there any more? Oh, yeah, 2 more.
DJ,
45. So seat 1 fold, seat 2 fold.
definitely
Three fold.
trying to get rid of his knit button. Bear wants to get rid of his too. Looking at 3 powerhouse hands going to a flop here in Texas. Oh, Justin folded the Jack 10. Getting a pretty good price too. Would have flopped the best of it.
3 check.
Now Jack 3 way in the lead.
3 check. 4 check.
9 deuce. Picking up the best hand. 9 deuce is now way the best hand. Bear gonna go for a little bit of value with his jack. Gonna be met with some resistance. This is a pretty disguised full house, and as played, Tien can think he has the best hand. I would think I have the best hand here. I imagine jacks, 9s, king deuce, jack deuce would have all bet turn from Bear. So he's really
4 raise.
repping a 1 pair hand, maybe a deuce. He could have a deuce. So I like his sizing, big, trying to get value from the other deuce, or maybe a lot of like something like king 10, king 8. This raise really kind of looks like what it is. Dan could also have some straights. He could check the turn with some queen 10s, queen 10 hearts, queen 10 clubs for deception. Bear's thinking it through. Looks like he wants to pay this off. Pays it off. And that's some unfortunate news for Bear.
Damn, take your friend's money.
It looks like they have a little bit of history too.
C5 straddle.
You never know what kind of history players have. If you're playing with a group of people for the first time, some players have a lot of history. It factors a lot into those weird calls like that. You see, or you think typically someone could be bluffing, could be bluffing. But if they're friends, they've been playing with each other, for 10, 20 years. Maybe they get creative on each other all the time. Maybe they want each other's money. Like I want my friend's money more. I'll go after my friend's money a little more than I will another player. It's a lot more fun, especially when you ride in the same car. Then you can rub it in their face,
7 raise. 40.
or they can rub it in your face when they take your money.
8 calls, 9 fold, 1 fold. 2 raise, 105. 3 fold, 4 fold, 5 fold.
Jack 3 obsolete. You have Jack 3.
Catman opening up
Call.
the Queen 8 suited. Real deal calling, and Andy 3-betting ace 5 off on the button, getting 2 calls.
I feel you guys are winning.
It's a great game. If y'all think poker's dead, look at these hands.
I saw you guys are winning. I joined with like garbage. See? Put a head. Like I said, put a head. How do I look?
9 deuce, flopping again. Andy with the betting lead will take. Real deal, flopping the only pair. It's hard to make a pair in this game. Probably won't release it
My
yet.
story is too extremely. Nothing or something like that.
7 fold, 8 call.
Not a lot of good turn cards for Andy. A lot of turn cards you can bluff on, like this one. Andy's a really aggressive player. Holding the ace of hearts is pretty good. He really has less heart draws, so he can fold out a little more. He's gonna rep this king,
That was
and it gets it done.
8 fold.
Gets it done. And he shows it to get rid of his nip button.
C6 straddle.
All of these players
C7 straddle for 30.
perfectly capable of being aggressive. So I imagine this number will either go up as the players decide to play more hands. I imagine there will be a lot of 3-betting and 4-betting amongst this group of players tonight. No cheap flops for anybody. No cheap flops at all.
Call 30.
Real premium, a pair. Bear still with his nip button, looking to get rid. Justin gonna 3-bet the suited ace out of the big blind. At a poor time, Isaac waking up with aces. I mean, Justin's hand looks 3-bet looks like exactly what it is, a little light squeeze. So Isaac doesn't exactly have to have aces to be doing this.
7 fold,
I'm curious
3 fold.
as to how. Oh, just lets it go. Isaac wins with aces. Sometimes it's that easy. A lot of people like to turn those suited aces into good 5-bet bluff candidates because you're blocking aces and ace king. And you have good equity against a lot of the hands that can call you. Generally, you're around 30%, 30, 35% against a lot of the hands that can call you. And then sometimes you just win. Because in that setup, he doesn't always have to have aces. He could have ace-10 offsuit and feel like it was a good spot to re-squeeze. And then can't really continue with that hand. There's all sorts of leveling you can put into it.
9 call 20.
That's why I love poker.
It's a straddle for 20.
There is. That's a 2-5-20 now.
Raise 75.
Uncapped straddles. Players can put anything they want under the gun. You can put at least $10.
2 520.
It could be $10, $20. It could be $1,000 if you want. It could be your whole stack.
5 fold. 6 fold.
Catman not defending his $20. VJ defending
You guys need to get
his
him. I'm
limp.
always you.
3 players.
Two players flopping a pair, which is enough for action. VJ with a straight draw. Leading out on this very wet and dynamic board. Bear probably doesn't want to let go of his hand yet. He has the ace of diamonds too. Could rep a lot of those flush runouts.
I can't call here. I have kings. I
That's
can't
what you 4
call.
folded, right?
I can't keep calling. I have kings.
Up to the 10.
It's a good and bad turn for VJ.
9 all in.
He just rips it. Oh, I think this is they're the last two players in the Nick game.
3 fold.
Yeah, that changes it too.
200 is even.
Yep. And just like that, the bear loses the Nick game. VJ had the best hand, but just kind of fading a call. If he got called, he wasn't gonna be happy with that. Hoping he was up against one pair or nothing. Flush draw.
Oh, it's a fashion part.
Alright, here we go.
The next pot should be an exciting one. For those of y'all that do not know, the loser of the Nick game will be putting $200 in the middle for this hand. So it's a $200 splash pot. Extra $200 out there. Changes a lot. There's a lot more money to fight for now.
$10 straddle, C8.
A lot of people like to put the straddles around in this one, make it even larger. This is generally
9 fold.
a very exciting hand or a very unexciting hand.
Raise 30. We call 30.
A normal raise size too.
4 call.
Pretty reasonable hands. Everyone's getting a pretty good price. Justin 3-betting on the button with a beautiful hand. 9-8 of hearts. Wants to play the pot in position. I don't imagine the way the game has been playing so far, any of these players folding any of these hands at any point in time. Pre-flop. Well, not any point in time. Just right now. I'm just eating my words. Andy does not want to set mine. Bear gonna look him up with the beautiful Jack-10 suited. Tien's probably gonna call with the beautiful 69. Or is he thinking about doing something spicy? I think he's just thinking about doing something spicy. Elects to just call. And off we go. Huge. Keep in mind, there's $200 more in this pot than what's listed. There's actually close to 700 in the pot. Big pot so far. No one flopping a pair. And with a flush draw. Justin with the betting lead. If no one connects with this, he could easily
5 bets.
represent these aces. Jack high folds. Ironically, with the best hand. Tien just calls, and Justin ends up betting, trying to bluff it all off. Tien calls it off on the turn. 9-8 high is currently the best hand. Never mind, it is no longer the best hand.
4 check.
Tien way out in front now with his pair and a flush draw. Be interesting to have seen.
5 bet. 300.
And this bet looks so strong. It's going to be ace king, ace queen a lot, wheel aces. He's getting a really good price to call. There aren't a lot of hands that would be folding if you raise here. So if he is going to continue, I would like to see a call. You have showdown value. You beat all of his big flush draws currently. But
C4 all in.
just has one of the hands that'll fold. The 9 high. It's a good game when you see people doing this with the best hand. Good game. Good game. Yes, Nathaniel, $200 is a lot of Chipotles. Or in your case, a medium amount of Chipotles. The average Chipotle is like $10. You add guac, double meat, probably get up to, very easily up to $20, 15, $20. 10 to 20 Chipotles. Still a lot of Chipotles. My Chipotle is, I think 15. Double meat guac.
One
Double
fold,
meat guac.
2 fold, 3
That's what I mean in your case.
4 fold, 5 raise, 30, 6 of spades, burn card, 6 fold.
Catman waking up with a real hand. Justin, I believe, does not have the 6 of spades. That was his
8 fold,
original card,
call,
whole card, but it got exposed, so it was put in the muck.
3 players, 6 of spades is our burn card.
Three to a flop. I imagine Justin's card was replaced with either another 9 or something that would make some sort of suited connector. Catman betting his ace queen high, being looked up by a worse ace high. And Justin folding, so I imagine Justin had one of those suited hands. And they're chopping, unless Catman wants it more. The way VJs play, this is really hard for him to have ace king, kings, aces. It's really capped at one pair, like 9s, 8s. I don't really like this call that he's thinking about. You chop with all of Catman's ace high bluffs, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, and then you lose to all of his kings, which he could actually have a lot of. King jack, king queen, ace king. He could actually have kings still. He could even have aces. I don't think he has anything like jacks, 10s, 8s, 9s. I think all these bet the flop.
9 fold.
Yeah, Catman gets the other ace high to fold.
Are we doing another round?
I believe another game will be started soon. Touch. Double dairy guac. I thought it was double. I knew it was double dairy, but
You asked about the mid game? Anybody
I thought
else?
double protein was there too.
After I down 3K.
Couple hands later, I go. Okay.
Still $13 Chipotle.
That's why I went to smoke. yeah. Couple hands later, I'm coming.
Isaac, so far through 19 hands, being the most snug, doesn't necessarily mean he's the most snug. Andy being very aggressive, and that's how he plays. Very aggressive player. Likes to be in the driver's seat.
3 raise, 35, 4 fold, 5 fold, 6 fold, 7 call, 8 call, 9 call.
The bear opening king queen off, getting looked up by a couple of hands, going 5 ways. Flopping the best of it.
8 check, 9 check.
2 players with pairs and straight draws.
3-bet.
I'm gonna deny a little bit of equity. Protect his hand versus pairs, flush draws.
7 fold, 8 fold.
Not a lot of
9 fold.
people are gonna have ace king, ace jack here. Just
1 fold.
MF. Showing the jack and folding. Never really understood that. People showing bottom pair and then folding on boards that don't. It doesn't really matter. You weren't gonna call down with the jack anyways. It's not like you're respecting their image or their player profile. It'd be different if you were showing an ace, but showing a jack couldn't.
Straddles on seat 2, $10.
Not really gonna call someone down with a jack on an ace king. Jack 2 heart board.
3 fold, 4 fold. 5
A little shocked to see the bear tosses 10-7 of diamonds in the muck. My favorite hand, 10-7 suited.
7 call.
Well, it's really just 10-7.
8 fold, 9 fold. 1 call. 2 check.
Got a low limped pot,
5.
small pot going down.
1 check, 2 check. 7.
5's still the best hand. 2 players catching 9 on the turn.
1 bet, 25.
Probably gonna go bet and a call.
2 fold. 7 call.
Don't imagine this pot getting out of control.
1 bet, 25. 7 call.
And they will chop this up.
9s and 6s with the jack. 9s and 6s.
Chop it up. Bear really doesn't like limping. Likes to enter the pot with a raise. Same thing with Catman, Justin, and Andy. Isaac really hasn't seen a great hand distribution so far, but a lot of these guys are really just playing. A lot of street poker. Don't always have to have a hand to raise or call. Sometimes you just like the cards in your hand. As I spoke it into existence, Isaac
7 fold.
raising. Catman away.
1
Most certainly would have played that hand.
and 3.
Kind of surprised to see the deuces hit the muck with it from Andy. Everyone flops a pair. Both players pretty happy with this flop.
6 bet.
Bet and call, I imagine.
Andrew, showing 7 minutes on your timer. If you want to add on. Alright, he's gonna do it himself.
Isaac way out in front with his pair
7 bet.
and a gut shot.
C3 call.
Top pair and a gut shot. Not really needing the help. 3 helps no one.
3 check.
I imagine if Bear thought he had the best hand on the flop, he's still going to think he has the best hand.
6 bet, 80.
Isaac's going to have a lot of 10s here over pairs, sets. Not a lot of straights. But you have the best 8. You do beat 8, 9, 7s, 9s. Now, way out in front.
Showdown. Aces.
Just river went check, check. It's going to be hard for Bear to get the most value out of that. I imagine Isaac is going to check back all of his one pair hands. I think Bear could have gone for a little bit of value leading the river. But I think he got cut up. Maybe want to set the trap. If Isaac had something like ace king or ace queen, thought he would have bet it.
You want to pass him out?
Players will be starting another knit game again. Isaac running off to the bathroom before they start. I made that problem yesterday. I thought I could. I didn't think I was going to need to use the restroom. And then we started playing the knit game. And then once I got out of the knit game, I ran off to the restroom. So if y'all are playing the knit game, make sure you take the opportunity while you have it to use the restroom before the knit game starts, because sometimes the knit games go fast and sometimes they take a little bit of time. But when they go fast, you want to make sure you catch all the hands you can catch. Bears gonna raise and take it. Seeing a lot of ace queens tonight. Pretty happy result.
Okay.
There was one caller.
They're saying on the system that it messes up with the system when you move the button, so just be careful.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me this evening. Watching this 2-5, 10+ no limit Holdem game at Texas Card House Houston. A lot of potential for interesting hands so far, but no big clashes yet. I imagine it'll happen soon. These players are all capable players. MF, not even with a knit button, just opening the 10-5 offsuit and a cutoff. Justin with the superior hand. This may be a card read error if MF continues. I know sometimes he gets a little out of line. Okay, there we go. But he doesn't get too out of line pre-flop. You can fend for yourself, Nurcon 999. Spelling bougie, boogie, and I don't know, boogie. Do you like to boogie? Bougie.
Seat 6 straddle 10, seat 7 straddle 20.
There we go. The Catman, always willing to put on the larger straddles. He's been known to vary it up sometimes. I've seen him put on, the 150, 200 a couple times, the 100 a lot, the 75 a lot. Putting on the 20 at the start of this new knit game. MF gonna limp his suited hand. Justin. Oh, we got a lot of deuces out there. Tim gonna punish the limpers. Punish the limpers. That's right. Punish him. Best hand. I believe that's twice in a row now. Tim's been the first out of the knit game. That's just not fair. I mean, the first hand raises a little light and kind of gets a walk. But I mean, no one really had much of anything. So it's kind of just on card distribution, not the player. I think MF could have won that. Had he just raised that instead of limped it.
It was a raise to like 40 or 50 bucks. He was like, I'm all in, 4,000. sure. Or do you bet 100? What about
150,
that?
150.
Or 150, yeah, 150. I'm all in full now. What? And then show you
And this
new way to play. We get it.
8 raise, 30.
real deal opening.
9
The hockey sticks up.
1
The
flop,
Gretzky's.
3 fold. 4 call 30. 5 fold.
Jack 10 and 4 deuce suited coming along. Now Tim wakes up with a real hand.
7 raise.
Gotta bump it up.
215.
Real deal and Catman are incredibly deep. I don't see him folding. Question is, will any other people come along? I guess Tien's very deep with him. He could have, if he wanted to get adventurous, called, seen a flop.
That's a
Very disguised hand, the 4 deuce. And he would have flopped a pretty about as good as you could hope for. 7's still the best hand, but with the king better for Catman, he's gonna bet it. Oh, not gonna give up a pair just yet. Pretty standard hand so far. Catman picking up a gut shot. Will probably continue the aggression. Target those little pairs. 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. 5x. I guess some 3x's Josh could have.
7 bet. 535.
It's going to be hard for Real Deal to continue. Every river outside of a 7 is not good for you. You're really calling, hoping that he gives up. You could also be drawing dead. Tim could have 2 kings, 2 10s. Yep. Just picks another time, picks another fight. And letting the table know he got one through.
I won't see it.
Aggression pays.
I 4 call 6.
Typically, the aggressor has the stronger range on the higher boards.
I hit a straight.
$10 straddle in the 8 seat.
At least that's what they say.
I don't have a king. Either. Yeah.
What is
9 raise.
what is chat's thoughts on the Nick game? Do y'all like it?
1 fold.
Are there other side games that y'all like? 7 deuce, small blind game. We played the kill game for a little bit before.
5 fold. 6 fold.
But I think the Nick game is just kind of settled as the most popular. 7 deuce is really fun, but it has to be dealt. Speaking of 7 deuce, would be good on this flop.
8 9
Andy with a flush draw. No one really much of anything else. Gets his flush. Now with an open-ended straight flush draw along with his flush. Imagine he's going to bet, start building this pot.
2 bet. 95.
The bear picking up a pair. This is a pretty strong bet. Andy checked through on the flop, and Andy bet a pretty board-changing turn. I don't imagine he's going to get 2 out of line here.
7 fold. 8 fold.
With so many players in the hand. VJ has his open-ended, just puts it in the muck.
That's a
That's a. Andy makes it straight. Doesn't need that though. Now trying to get value. Really should be targeting 10x and jack x holdings.
2 bet. 4
I don't know how often Andy's going to be bluffing at this to make the big sizing worth it. They're going to see your hand anyways.
Queen eye.
Wins the hand, though. Gets rid of his net button. Now we have a dealer chain.
You don't realize her over any realize
I didn't see straight.
Take this moment. For those of y'all that do not know, TCH Social will be opening up a new room in Austin next week on August 28th. They have a couple promotions going on. This promotion, the first 300 members to show up will be able to get their time matched if they buy. You buy 1 hour, you get one free. Up to $500 in free time. Good promotion. A lot of y'all are going to play poker anyways. Why not take advantage of this if you're going to be there? I know I will. I'll be trying to get this $500 in free time next Wednesday. Looking forward to the new location. The TCH Social brand. The last one they opened up was Las Colinas, and it is a beautiful room. So I imagine the new one in Austin is going to be the same, or not the same, similar. Bar, restaurant, great poker staff, great games. MF going after it with a suited 10. And Andy punishing his immediate aggression. This is the Andy I'm used to. The Andy I like to see. And Andy's pretty fearless. He's a young kid. Started playing poker in the past 2 years. Really picked up the game quickly, and likes trying to figure out what he can do. No one believes him though. 2 suited queens coming along with a suited 10, and Andy outflops them all. I imagine he's going to continue betting here. Semi-bluff, equity denial. Lots of overs out there that people can catch up on. Flush draw. And MF gives up his spare. Good pickup for Andy. Conveniently flopping the best hand. I agree. The 7-2 game, the 7-deuce game makes the game feisty. Makes it real feisty. It's always in the back of your head whether or not someone has that hand.
Good strategy for you. Yeah. You do that, yeah.
Bear with a real hand now. Getting looked up by the inferior relays. No lows in this game, only high. See, and then with your nit buttons, these people are playing hands that you probably wouldn't play if you didn't have a nit button. I don't think MF would play the 8-3 offsuit if he didn't have a nit button.
Next time.
Real deal might play the 7-5 offsuit, but having the nit button makes you want to play a little bit more. MF flopping the best hand. Pair of 8s. Gets out of the way. To this lead. This donk bet from the real deal. I haven't get through 2 players who have worse hands than him. And it's going to work. And MF's going to be sad because he folded the best hand. In usual MF fashion.
Makes sense.
Real deal, get rid of his nip button in that hand.
I don't have any diamond knife. I call him.
I already have the itch to play more hands. Having the nip button gives me, I feel like psychologically gives me a reason to play more hands.
I have two effectual hands.
I don't really need a reason to play more hands.
Two effectual.
My people.
Bear waking up, just putting ace jack in the muck. It's pretty uncharacteristic. Justin opening it up with another mystery card. It seems Isaac 3-betting with a mystery card as well. We've got a battle of mystery cards. Real deal, cold calling the button with pocket fives. Looks like all the fives are dead. I imagine Isaac's hand, based on what the graphics are showing, is 5-6 suited or an ace-5 suited. Those two make a lot of sense. Maybe a 5-4 suited. If he has an ace-5 suited, he flops the best hand. Graphics are a little wrong, is it? Isaac continuing. And the real deal come along with his pair plus flush draw. BJ got out of the way. Queen of spades on the turn helps nobody. Isaac checking. Real deal going to check his showdown. Does not improve. Imagine it's going to go check, check. Isaac. Yep, there it is. The ace-5 of clubs. Real deal hoping, when he sees the hand, hoping there was a 5 on the flop. Thinking about what could have happened. I often think about that too. All the 5s were gone.
And then he can make a decision. Come on.
Yeah, snap call.
Yeah. He ain't snapping. Come on.
No, that's just what the last person did.
Justin still with his snip button. The reasonable hand, the queen jack offsuit. Catman, ace on in position. Real deal. Playable hands. The 3-bet it. The 6-4 suited. I mean, when you're this deep with players, you can work these 3-bets in. Because if you hit, your hand's going to be very disguised. Both Justin and Tim make the call. Flops the best of it. Top pair and a gut shot. Catman with the same gut shot. Very happy with this flop. Catman gonna call with the same gut shot. And his ace over. A 5 would be disastrous. The deuce doesn't change anything. Real deal betting a very large amount. A healthy bet of $3,500 into a pot of $800.
Why do you still think I'm a liar?
These two players have a lot of history. They have played several times on and off stream. This type of dynamic always makes a game more fun. That extra level of leveling. Although I don't know if a $3,500 bet was necessary to win the hand. But it did win the hand. It would feel bad if you got snap called. It would feel very, very bad if you bet casual 4 times pot and you get snap called. Batman raising a suited king. The bear in the big blind. Another one of these hands. All these players seem to love, as they should, suited connectors. 10-9 of diamonds. Beautiful hand to look at. Catman defends his suited king. And VJ, position on the mall, defends his wheel ace. A lot of these players liking these wheel aces today. A lot. And flops the best hand. Ironically, had the best hand, but a lot more comfortable now. Bear with some backdoors in the betting initiative. VJ not going to go anywhere with the strips. There's one of those cards to keep barreling. Now he picked up additional equity. VJ shouldn't have ace queen, or shouldn't have a lot of ace sixes. Shouldn't. Gonna continue with his flush draw. I imagine any 7 or 8 he would have continued as well. It's a big bet. VJ does not have a whole lot behind after making this call. Can the bear improve? Only a diamond. The 5 of diamonds being dead. And 6 of diamonds also improving VJ. VJ might have gone all in. And the bear, I think that's what's going down now. They're figuring out the action. And a diamond was exposed, and a diamond gets there. Bear in love with his hand still. I'd be happy. You can still get value from ace jack, ace 10. Not losing to a whole lot of what VJ has. Yeah, there it goes. And VJ said I can't fold, and the bear shows him the bad news. Nice pickup for the bear. Giving up his nip button. Nothing dirtier than doing something like that.
I mean, before he back, we stop it.
I believe VJ will be departing us. He likes to play in the tournaments. He's a big tournament player. I imagine he's going to go enter our nightly, or our Thursday night tournament. It's a big 10K guarantee. $250 or $40, I believe. Good tournament. Always a good turnout for that one. Every Thursday night. But this is the game I like. The 2-5 no limit Holdem on Thursday night. At least he did not have a knit button. If he had had a knit button, he would have immediately lost the game and had to pay up the $200. But now the game will continue. Andy raising. The bear really choosing his spots. I don't know if I agree folding the king queen versus a button open. He can do whatever he wants. Tien 3-betting the 9-5 suited. and just gets it through. That feels great.
You want my dominate?
You were dominating.
I dominate your hand. That will be funny. I dominate your hand.
That always feels great though when you feel pull a move like that, and then everybody folds and you just get rid of your nib button, not having to put any more
You got the $100 bet.
additional money in the pot with 9 high. You could just flop him. I mean, in that case, he had the best hand too, but.
I think your dog is
6, 7, 8, 9 fold.
Catman away from the table is missing pretty big hands actually, being up from the table. Andy with a mystery hand. Yep. Beautiful hand to look down at, the Jack 10 suited.
Oh, garbage! You go ahead. I can't question you about that.
You act like you're not getting 3-bet every game.
Andy,
Garbage is still this.
not looking good for Andy. If he keeps, he's gonna have to put a little resistance up. Because if people start realizing that you're gonna fold so lightly, you're gonna get 3-bet more and more. And not all first button. As long as he didn't have something like Queen 5 offsuit, I'm okay with him folding Queen 5 offsuit, Queen 6 offsuit, Queen 10, Queen 9. Take it to the streets. A little cut off first button. Batman missing another big hand. Needs to sit down and play these hands. But sometimes that's how that goes. You wait all night for big hands, you don't get them because you were up and away from the table. It's just the card distribution. Real deal opening 7-6 off. MF calling with the 10-9 off and Tian with the ace-10 off. Go into a flop. 7-6. Way out in front now. No one with much of anything else will probably not be met with a lot of resistance. MF getting a little spicy. Maybe thinking about bluffing. Tian already thinking about bluffing now. Decides to let it go. A fine choice. Versus a bet and a call. Well, if there was a card that didn't improve your hand that you wanted to see on the turn, now with 2 overs and a gut shot, MF probably going to still continue. Especially for that price. 50 into 200. And all in all, not a bad river for the 6-7. Question is, will MF bluff at it? I don't know how often he's going to have an 8. Don't think it's going to work if he bluffs.
Good.
It's an interesting spot with no showdown value with the 10 high on this run out. Because you're not repping much.
I don't think so.
Really just 8x of spades is the only thing that can go big here.
Yeah, you're always too strong.
I forgot there was a straddle.
Yeah, it's too strong. I'm almost a 3-bet pre-flop. Almost.
Welcome. I would like to thank everyone for joining me tonight.
It's a standard 7x.
If my hand is suited, I will 3-bet.
Discussing the opening sizing. Everyone's used to the straddle on. There was no straddle on that hand, so big open. People still applied.
That opens.
Also proves that in some games, blinds don't matter. People just kind of play what they want to play.
Do you know how long it'll take you? Do you know how long it'll take you to come back?
I'll get the 200. I think I can get the 200, but the other. Because I have a limit on my seat.
Does it just go automatic flash flop then?
Although a lot of the games in Texas play a lot bigger than they're advertised it.
He might come back theoretically.
He might just
Two
like,
fives
you know what,
generally.
I'm coming
Most of the stakes generally play 1 or 2 stakes larger. Like a lot of people are used to sitting 100 or 200 big blinds deep. It's pretty normal here in Texas to sit 500, 1,000 big blinds deep in a 1-3 game. Happens all the time. 3-bet action here. Both players flopping a pair, top for Tien. Catman with a pair and some backdoor dreams. And the betting lead though. Pretty happy with this flop. Tien can't go anywhere with top. Not just yet. Catman gonna need some help. Not a good card for either player. Better for Catman. Perceived range. Tien's gonna check 2, try and get the showdown. No one improves. Ace-10 still the best hand. I don't think Catman's gonna take a stab at this. Tien's gonna go for a little bit of value. Not a lot. Catman beats here. Oh, it looks like VJ did have a nip button, so that'll be in the next hand. Unfortunate for VJ. Catman doesn't really. Oh, and he makes the call. Ace-10. Good. Way good. Nice pickup for Tien. Not sure if 6-4 is the best calling candidate. You want them to have a 6, 6-5, 6-7. Most of their bluffs are like ace-5, ace-deuce, 6-5, 6-7. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you beat. I guess he also beats ace-jack. They would kind of have to go for it, but that's not a whole lot. Has a lot of 10s. Can even have a set of 9s. This will be the splash pot. $200 extra in the middle. Much smaller raise sizes than I'm used to in these splash pots. 2 power deuces going at it now. I imagine Justin's deuce is probably met with another deuce. Got a bunch of Texas premiums going to the flop. No one loves this. Catman and the real deal bluff flopping a queen. How much does Tien want this money? He wants it that much? This is a really small bet. I don't think this is going to get a lot of hands that connect with this flop to fold. Justin makes the call. I imagine, based on this, Justin probably has something along the lines of ace deuce off. Maybe jack deuce suited, king deuce of hearts, with a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. I imagine it's a good spot for Justin to bet. It's gonna be hard for either player to continue, really. Tien kindly mucking Justin's cards for him.
Why fucking pay that card fee? Why pay that card fee?
Justin with deuces.
One not to the horn.
Good bluff. Gets that through. Either player having really much good. It's just really hard for a queen to continue. I mean, there's another bet that's gonna have to come. You're gonna have to face
Turn.
if you call the turn.
No
So.
more Joe. Bet one
Out of the
pair
way.
Joe. Turn 8 high. One pair Joe.
Good pickup by Justin, the splash pot. Jan with a real hand now. Ace King and the pairs are gonna follow suit. Threes, fives. Tim with the suited king. Gonna come along.
2 ball piece.
So far we've got a reasonable array of hands to see a flop with.
Before king.
You can be pretty liberal on the button with what you see.
No way. That's not my
Flops
hand.
with.
I need to hit a set. I don't guess.
Controlling all of the action is very important. Terrible flop for Ace King. I feel like this happens to me all the time. Get excited, look down at Ace King, and bam. Queen 6-6, 2 clubs. An ace from space. Now way out in front. I imagine he's going to go for a little pot control. It's just so hard to get paid. This is where you should go for a little bit of value. You call by ace jack, ace 10. Justin looking him up with a pair of threes. Dan's image paying off. Justin showing how light he called him. Great dynamic.
What?
I knew it was strong or weak. I didn't know which one it was.
I want to go to his last hand. Not
Before he
this
even
hand.
shows his card, he takes his money.
Oh my god.
Big,
I'm
good pickup for Ace King.
500% sure I'm good here. 500% sure.
That's gonna be a TCH Live clip. Ultimate disrespect.
500% sure.
Justin was right though. He's either really good or really not good. I don't think Tian would bet a 9 or queen. The way the hand played out. That way, I think most of the time it's just gonna be an ace or nothing. Tian with another big hand. The 2 ladies
Yeah, I thought you went for it. I thought you said 2.
getting 3-bet by the Catman with a mystery hand. The real deal. Angrily calling with his deuces on the button. And I don't imagine this is going to be the price of poker today. I think Tian's going to put in the 4-bet. Catman certainly capable of having other hands. Real deal. It's extra money, and they're going to help Tian decide that he wants to put more money in the pot. Question is how much? Good sizing. I imagine if Catman has a suited 10, any of the Broadways, or 10-9 or 10-8, or even pocket 10s, he's going to see a flop. They're very deep, $3,000 deep. Those are the types of hands you can play in position. And this may be a good enough price to bring Real Deal on. Set mining. Don't really expect him to have a deuces. Cold calling a 3-bet. Over pair versus mystery hand versus pair plus straight draw. 10 checking a little pot control. These players could easily have 7-8. That's a great card for Tian. I don't think either player would check a set 3 ways. So he has to think he has the best hand now. Probably good to start building the pot versus other pairs. Don't have to go big. I like the sizing. Real Deal coming on with this pair, does a non-believer. Looking for some help. I don't imagine Tim had 2 10s, so that's not improving anybody. I think Tian's going to go for a little bit more value here. I think you can put out a nice healthy bet. If you get raised, you have a pretty easy fold. But you can get called by plenty of worse hands. A 6, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10x of clubs, 10x of hearts. And your hand's under reps. So, I mean, you could definitely be bluffing at this. I don't think he needs to go too big. Curious to see what sizing he settles on. I mean, once Deuce's faces this bet, it's not going to look too good. You only beat the ace king or ace queen flush draws. Decides on a check. Real deal going to take a showdown value. I would like to have seen Tien bet.
One can remember call.
You play just like me.
Such a lead. I told him such a lead here.
You had a better pocket there than me.
I'm seeing about if you pass your fast you have to bet here.
I don't agree with that statement.
If you pass your fast like hard draw. Actually,
I think some of the time he has the bet, but I actually don't think he has a ton of flush draws. I think he's gonna have a lot of pairs there when he calls behind. But either way, he scooped in the pot. There is the sizing that the real deal might have called. He could have easily paid off $800. I think very big wouldn't have gotten paid. Justin raising ace king in early position. Almost looked like he was getting rewarded, but the pump fake call. Once again, another terrible flop for the ace king high. Somehow, still the best hand. And he's going to bet it. A little bit of equity denial. 10 high board. Lots of good turns. Free to keep betting. The bear's thinking. I like Chen. He's a very animated player. Imagine he's fantastic to play with. Just a fun time. Good pickup for Justin with the ace high. See bet and take it. That always feels really good. When you do see bet those flops that no one should really connect with, but someone might connect with every now and then. And then you just take it down. Isaac's still a little quiet. Once again, the card distribution system not really liking him a whole lot. Other than those aces.
Check on anything under 3K.
Should have shoved.
Show me, I'm thinking about it. Check on any under 3K. Under 3K, check on anything.
MF with a real hand here. Opening up over the limp. Normal sizing. Real deal giving him an action. People loving these wheel aces, not suited tonight. I always see a lot of people play these non-suited wheel aces. Sometimes they just like them. Outflops MF's kings. Way out in front now. Kind of don't know where you are versus MF though. When MF raises, you're way ahead or way behind here. Check call. MF now knows he's either versus a flush draw or an ace. Gonna carefully pot control. Just gonna go check check. Real deal, probably gonna go for a little bit of value. Looks like it went check check. MF saying he lost the minimum. I agree. I don't think he would have called a very large river bet though. TN, the big winners so far of 3K.
I'm thinking about like 1200 or check here. Actually,
Isaac
I
up
don't have any
a little
any red.
800.
I
Andy
can't
up
have any red.
a couple hundred, $700, and the bear up a couple $100. Everyone else down.
The biggest thing
No
I
one
didn't got
too
is
stuck.
aces.
I mean, DJ lost his buy-in,
That's the
but
biggest
no
thing.
one's stuck heaps yet. It can all change very quickly. All it takes is one hand. One hand, and you're either even, unstuck. 2 hands, you could be super unstuck. You could be upstuck after 2 hands. Bear gonna 3-bet his 9s on the button versus the real deal. Early position or middle position open. Looks like it was a $20 strat along. Real deal. Gonna see a flop. I'm surprised Andy's let that go. You have a great getting a good price. You have a great hand. You either smash the flop or you don't. I wouldn't consider this smashing the flop. Real deal, top, the bear with his pair. Check, check. Real deal feeling real good now. Top pair, top kicker, nut flush draw. Bear still has a pair and with a flush draw. You don't really beat much though. You kind of have to be hoping he would be betting something like king, queen with the king or queen of diamonds. Ace, queen with the ace or queen of diamonds. That's really all you beat. Not wanting to let go of his hand yet. Bear looking for a 9. I don't think the pot will get very bloated if the 9 comes. Terrible card for Josh. He's going to go for value, though. I don't know if he's turning his hand into a bluff or betting for value. I imagine if the bear had some sort of king, queen, ace, king, ace, queen, he would have bet flop. So you're really looking to get called by 10x or a hand like he has, pocket 9s. Queens probably would have bet the flop too when check 2. Not too large of a bet. 40% pot. Thinking everything through.
I don't care if you guys have a hand going on that.
He really only beats the dry guy now. Josh would have to have something like ace, 5. He decides to pay it off. Good job, real deal, getting value. Got max value after flopping the best hand from 2 9s. Image helping, definitely helping him out on that one. Good size pot goes to the real deal with ace jack.
I did not do that.
Well, I like you.
How much do you bet on turn?
3.
Looks like we're about to have a dealer change. Daryl gonna come in, take over. Real deal with a suited queen. Oh, looks like the 20's on now. Batman's had it on several times throughout the evening. He's gonna limp. Suited queen. Andy with the suited king. Gonna raise it up. Tian with the beautiful 9-8 of diamonds. Gonna make the call on the button. Justin and Isaac not having much in the way of a hand. Catman with a suited 9. And the real deal with his Broadway, suited Broadway. 4 to a flop. That's pretty good for Andy. Nut flush draw. And a gut shot. With the betting advantage on a board that favors you. Tien with a weird open-ended and a backdoor flush draw. Probably deciding on whether or not he wants to gamble. Does. He can be in big trouble. Batman doesn't realize that clubs are bad for him. No one goes away. Andy, of course, now just hoping for a club or a queen. Real Deal pulling way out in front now with a straight. Just open rips it. Andy now with a pair and a flush draw. You definitely don't have the best hand here. Josh, or the Real Deal, is not open ripping it into 3 other people. I think with anything other than a queen here. I think it's going to be often a hand like Queen Jack, or a hand like this Queen 10. I don't think he limps King Queen very often. Definitely not Ace Queen. I guess he could also have Queen X of clubs, in which case you are drawing real thin. I don't imagine Andy's going to make this call, but it's a big pot. Sometimes you just want to gamble. Decides to fold, and he's going to get it through. Big pickup for the Real Deal.
Show some bluff here. You want to fold? Yeah. Will you pay me to show the bluff? How much you want it? $20. $20? Or what about $10? Yeah, sure. Show them bluff. That's not bluff.
I don't think he can show a bluff there. I think it's actually impossible for him to be bluffing.
I pay you show the bluff. It's not a bluff. Do you have Queen X?
I'm not saying I'm not saying Real Deal's not capable of bluffing. I'm saying that scenario, he's probably not bluffing. I would bet money against it. Wow. Have our dealer change? I know I've mentioned TCH Social opening up their new location in Austin next week on Wednesday, 28th. They will be running a grand opening 300K guaranteed tournament. Plenty of flights for you to play in, if you'd like. It's a $250 buy-in tournament, $300,000 guarantee, 25K starting stack, 30-minute levels, 12.5% cash and 8% day 2. And there's a $800 double bag bonus. And they have additional bounties for most entries. And the most combined chips, I imagine, across the flights, you bag. Some additional incentives for you to keep trying and doing better. Should be a good tournament. These are always good structured tournaments for TCH. Imagine first place is going to walk away with a hefty chunk of change. Look forward to seeing some of y'all there. The bear seems to really love these suited hands over the non-suited varieties. I've noticed. Even though they don't actually change a whole lot more. In your mind, it makes you feel a lot better. Justin, waking up with 10s behind. Definitely a 3-bet. The bear going to come along. Not a bad flop for 10s. Going to continue. And I should imagine this being the end of the hand. But who knows? Players do crazy things all the time. Things that I can't predict. No one can predict. Probably not even the players themselves. Nice little pickup for Justin. People are always brutally honest when they fold and say wrong color. all black, they needed all red cards. It's usually the truth, I've found. Although some people do like telling the little white lies. Those are always the interesting ones. Not necessarily something entirely false. Bad flop for me may not mean actual bad flop for the hand, just bad flop for their range. Justin with one of those wheel aces going after it. Isaac with the suited king 7 has been the suited king of choice throughout the stream tonight. I've seen this hand a lot. Catman with 3s and the real deal with his connector, his wheel connector. Not a bad flop for the king 7 of clubs. Catman currently out in front, but an equity underdog with this pair versus 3 other players. Imagine Isaac is going to bet this when it just checks through. Justin gets a free river to his ace. Or not river, turn, sorry, excuse me. Free turn to the ace. Isaac going to continue with his flush draw. Does not improve. I would like to have seen Isaac bet on the flop. Bet out the ace high, random ace highs, king highs. Justin picking up a nice pot with ace deuce. Winning all the little pots helps a lot. All of these players perfectly capable of doing different things at any point in the night. They do have tendencies. All of them like to be very aggressive. The bear opening the juggernaut. I'm a little confused by his range. We've seen some really snug folds and some really loose opens. He seems to be very much of a mood player, playing whatever he feels like playing, which is fun. I mean, that's what you want. You want people to have fun. No one flopping anything here. Ace high, equity favorite. Someone turns Andy turns a pair. Catman now open-ended. Imagine Andy thinks he has the best hand. I would. Catman continuing with his 2 overs and straight draw. Lots of cards to help him. That's not one of them. Andy hoping Tim will hang himself. Could have gone for a little bit of value, I think, there. Players are going to start the next big game, probably after Isaac is arrested. There's never really a long lull in between Nick games. Usually someone gets that itch, wants to play the Nick game. Tian with 2 8s. Raising it up, Justin trying to isolate with the king jack. And the real deal waking up with aces. With his image, it's going to be hard for him not to get paid here. Tian just releases his 8s. Probably because Justin still has the act behind him. I think Justin can go either way. Calling to see a flop or folding. Versus the real deal being as aggressive and loose as he is. Probably want to see a flop. There's a danger for Justin flopping top pair versus the real deal. flop top pair, you're going to have to at least peel one. You're not in love with this spot. Top pair, good kicker. But the real deal is representing a lot of strength here, as that was a cold 4-bet. Real deal slow playing. Clean run out too for him. Justin liking his hand but not loving it. Probably gets snapped by aces. Unfortunate for Justin flopping top pair versus the real deal. Sometimes they have it. What a wild image can get you sometimes, is get you paid with big hands. That was probably one of those spots. Justin's river bet probably dictating the size of the bet, not wanting to face a pot size bet. Can get called by worse. He could get called by queens. Queens, jacks, ace 10. I don't imagine real deal having a lot of worse kings.
There's a reason why I wanted this. That's my sin. Normal. Hey, you moved first.
When is the stream end? How long is it? 9:45.
That's right. The stream ends for them at 9:45. It ends for us at 10. We have plenty of more stream for those of y'all watching at home. Plenty of time to watch tons of action go down. I believe this is the first hand of the new knit game. Isaac with the flush draw here. Looks like Tim is changing seats for some weird reason. Don't see that very often. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that ever. A Catman change seats. He normally likes one, two,
That's why I didn't like that seat.
and I believe the chair just broke. That's unfortunate. Again, turning his 3 into a semi-bluff here. He'd easily have the best hand. Also very easy for him to have the worst hand. Hoping he can get fold from a hand like pocket 6s, 7s, 8s. Isaac with a great hand, ironically, to fight Tan's exact holding. 2 overs and a flush draw.
Alright, everybody, that's on Facebook.
I warned you.
That's the price of that seat.
Caleb, that is an excellent question.
Only bust out.
I cannot answer that for you. I have not seen any pictures of the new location yet. I imagine it's going to be very similar to their other TCH social in Las Colinas, which is a fantastic location. There's a nice lounging area, a restaurant/bar, then the poker playing area. They've done a good job of setting up these new rooms. I am excited to check it out. I will be there on Wednesday. I happen to be in Austin for the weekend, and I was just decided to stay. Why not? Check out the new opening. Isaac not getting a favorable run out though, and deciding to bluff at it. And Tian making the correct call with his pair of 3s. Isaac's hand does look like a missed flush draw, as played when the turn checking through. But I'm excited, Caleb. These card rooms keep getting better and better and better and better. The amenities they're offering, the food keeps getting better. I mean, it's very close to what you would get in casino level establishments. I mean, they're really starting to put a lot of money behind these things. Because, I mean, Texas Poker's here to stay. I always like playing at the really nice establishments too. Makes me feel better. I don't feel yucky going to sketchy places or things. Places with good security, good food. Like I want to have fun. I want to be able to eat or drink if I want. Feel safe. Andy opening the button with a suited 8. Bear taking the lead. Staying out in front. Gonna bet and take it. Nice little pickup for him. I believe they're still waiting to start the Nick game too. Tim has indeed moved to seat 9. I wonder if he's trying to change up the juju. Take the real deal's luck from him. I know superstitions are something poker players are notorious for. There are all sorts of weird habits, beliefs that different poker players have. It's just superstition. Do any of y'all have any ridiculous superstitious or rituals that you follow when you play poker? Sit in the same seat. Don't play. Like I knew a guy that wouldn't play the first hand of every new dealer. Swore he got stacked every time, and the one time I watched him play the first hand of a new dealer, he got stacked. I mean, I'm not saying the superstitions like he's always going to get stacked. It was just coincidence. I don't really have any superstitions, but it didn't help that it actually happened. Looks like we got a hand of brewing. Top pair versus open-ended. Tien's going to lead out versus Isaac's top pair. Setting the price. Isaac identifying that Tien's leading kind of light. I don't think he can go anywhere just yet. His hand's very disguised. No waiting. Bam. Nut straight plus flush draw. Isaac still has to believe he has the best hand. I'm going to bet. The question is, will Tien slow play this? Isaac has shown a lot of strength by raising the flop. I imagine you're not going to get stacks in this hand. But I think Tien wants to start building this pot. 2 pairs, sets. You just want to build it. You have such a strong hand. Obviously, right now being the nuts. Isaac, not a believer, making the call. The flush comes through. Isaac holding the nut flush blocker may play into a river decision. Tien is definitely going to bet for value on this river. But it's an interesting spot because if you get raised here, you're kind of in a disgusting spot. I imagine now, based on that sizing, he's not folding. If Isaac raises, it's a very healthy bet, pot size bet. Isaac with the nut flush blocker, thinking through his options. Not a great candidate to call either. You don't block any straights. He does make the call though, and gets shown the bad news. Nice hand for Tien. Big pickup there. Big pot. $3,300 pot for Tien. Nathaniel, that superstition is not just for poker. Apparently it's for everything. Tien, the big winner now. Up $5,000 on the evening. Real deal. Up 2.4K. Andy up a couple hundred. Everyone else losing. Still plenty of time left in the evening for these numbers to change, as we've seen it happen before. It'll only take one hand. Isaac reloading now, like a trooper. Ready to play more? Adding on another 1,000. The interesting hand. The last one. Looks like a limp and a raise. Top pair, top kicker versus open. No, a gut shot. Real deal gonna bet his top pair, top kicker. Tian gonna continue with his gut shot and 1 over. And binks it. Real deal does have the 8 of diamonds. Not a terrible turn card for him. Not the best though. Tian probably gonna lead here. You just don't want the action to check through. That looks like a check call. Jack. No one likes that card. 10-9 comes in. Looks like a quick bet and a call. Tian gets looked up. Tian's seat is on fire. He is catching right now. Real deal, keeping him honest. I believe they're waiting. They're probably for MF to get back before they start the next game. $20 straddle now. Andy with the pair. Tian. Big hand. King queen. Gonna 3-bet it. Real deal giving it some consideration. Catman letting his hand go. Andy's going to make the call with his pair. Off to the races. Six is still the best hand. Andy. Terrible card for Andy. Question is, will Tian represent it? And he will. It's going to be hard for Andy to continue. Even if you think you have the best hand, it's just so hard to continue. Like, Tian can put you under so much pressure. We're really going to call down big bets with just a pair of sixes on that board.
That's a hit.
And we have the V-pips for everybody.
My king queen's a hit or not?
As per stream usual, most people's in the 30s. We have several in the 40s. Isaac covering at 22%. Not to his own fault. He's been trying to play, just not getting the greatest cards. I believe this was not a straddle pot. Just a 2-5. Straddle was not mandatory. Andy may be a little frustrated for betting the queen deuce of clubs. Justin with a great hand in position. Let's it go. Being disciplined. Kind of a rough night for Justin. Had good hands run into it, and then had good hands get blown off. Great patience though, from Justin. Waiting for a spot. Bear with a suited Broadway. TM with the dominated clubs. 3-betting. Justin cold calling with 2 4s. I imagine this is going to go 3 ways. King Jack out flopping everybody. TM flopping a pair though with the betting lead. Justin going to take the initiative, turning his 4s into a bluff. Justin's going to have a lot of ace jacks, ace queens here. Ace king some of the time. Probably not a lot. Imagine a lot of those raise. Bear going to look him up just once with a king. Versus a bet and a call. Our pair of ace doesn't look great here, TN. Imagine he's going to let it go, but he might be feeling lucky or spicy. Certainly put in a raise as the pre-flop raiser. Represent ace king, pocket eights, kings, aces. That's what he's going to do. Great play by TN. This is a tough spot for the bear with king jack. You could be ahead of a lot of hands. Queen 10 of hearts, queen 10 of diamonds, queen jack of diamonds. But all of his value hands have you crushed. Absolute crushed. Once again, these 2 players are friends. They probably have a ton of history. And I imagine the bear knows that TN's capable of doing this. But he just gets away with it.
Damn.
Bear knows that his friend just got away with one. Good bluff.
You guys will be
By
surprised
10.
if you guys found out in this.
That was a good bluff.
Found out in this unit. You just may be surprised so much. Maybe surprised. I think so.
Tim's move has not gotten him any action so far. The Catman, not one to shy away from cards. Just hasn't gotten some that he'd like to play yet. Tien seems to be getting all the cards now. Andy 3-betting correctly the ace jack for Tien. Who I imagine based on his current run is going to see the flop with this. Could also a great 4-betting candidate. MF gets out of the way. Neither player improving. Andy's ace jack high is still in the lead. Gonna try and get this to showdown. Tien picking up a wheel draw. Might give him just enough to continue and the ability to take it away on a future street if he doesn't improve. Andy's hand looks a lot like what it is. Ace high, pocket queens, pocket jacks. I think he can go for value on this river. Goes half pot. Tien. Rough river for him, making top pair 2. Might have just enough to call. Does Andy ever turn his queens or jacks into a bluff? Probably not. But it's, yeah, does call it off. Good pickup by Andy. Good pickup by Andy. Good river for him to get paid on.
Stop it. You stop it. You stop it. Bet on the flop. I will bet on the flop. You bet the flop, I fold.
He had saying he would have folded it, and he bet the flop. And I believe that to be true.
You bet the flop, I fold.
Andy's typically not someone
I'm good.
to be gun shy. He's
No ace, no jack.
a very aggressive player. If he thinks he can make you fold something, I've seen him try and make you fold things just because he thought he can make them fold.
If you check, I will sink to take the flop. I will bluff you. On river? Ace. Ace four suited. I have ace.
Isaac getting after it with his suited queen. The queen tray.
You bet 250 I go, it's the same thing.
The bear looking him up with the 6-5 and yeah, with another one of those wheel aces. So flop we go. Isaac picking up the best hand to get after it with, even though the bear actually has the best hand. Does not improve. That's probably a good candidate to bluff at it with. Blocking straights, could easily have queen jack. But the bear gets to win a showdown with a 6. Kind of hard to believe you won that. I mean, you realize when you win that Isaac had exactly the type of hand he had, just a high flush draw.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna play some more, but if you guys want to start now.
The real deal wants to start a game before he has to leave. Well, the last thing you want to do is get stuck in a poker game when you're supposed to leave, even though I do it all the time. Sometimes you just want to play. And the game doesn't take too long either. It usually takes 20 to 40 minutes. I've seen a couple of them go really long, but that was unusual. Just players normally get after it. Looks like we got a big one brewing here. Ace Queen raised from Tien, and then Justin 3-betting the Ace King. Tien's got a decision now. Ace Queen's a big hand. See how he wants to play it. Justin's shown the ability to 3-bet light already. Ace Queen could most definitely be the best hand.
Should have 30 though. $10 was a raise. Should have 30
Trying to get the pot right before the hand continues.
What's the pot? I'm thinking about it.
I didn't put anything in the pot.
He didn't put anything in the pot.
Kind of an unfortunate situation when this happens.
10.
I wonder if
He did not.
I put a 25.
Yeah, and he never called. That's right.
Wait. I have it. I'm thinking about pot.
such a weird hand now when all of this happens and now the hand continues. Curious as to what is going through Justin's mind through all of this. Tian now after getting that settled, starting to think about the hand. Justin could have picked up on that. I imagine if Tian had
Something good, probably.
a real big hand like aces or kings, he would have been less interested in the pot in the hand. Could be wrong. Tian thinks that Justin could be 3-betting him light like he's been doing. And Justin rips it. I don't think Tian can fold at this point. Yep. It looks like they're going to run it twice. 2 full boards. Justin in a good spot to double up. Ace King high, still in the lead. Ace King high. Gonna take the first board.
I'm going this.
The real deal is departing. Good little pickup for him. Another safe board for Justin. Only needs to dodge a queen and a paired board. And does. A nice double up for Justin with Ace King. Nice pickup for Justin. And just the dynamic kind of created that hand. Tian knowing Justin's been 3-betting him light. And Justin's just waking up with it. Goodbye to the real deal. Always a pleasure to have him on stream. Very fun guy to play with. Very fun on stream. I believe he won a little bit. Couple $1,000, I believe. Nice bit of change for the evening.
Actually, I don't think Ice Queen can call auto. Yeah, I can call 3-bet here. I can 4 or 4-bet, that's it. 4-bet or 4. But I 4-bet, I already put 800 in. 1,400.
Tian loves discussing his plays with the table after the fact.
Yeah, I 4-bet that box, I can 4.
Definitely been the most vocal player tonight at the table. Very fun. Tilt call announced by Tian. Although his hand very reasonable.
Why'd you go? You're so high. I forgot that I had that 20 out there.
Andy out-fluffing everybody. 2 players with 10s and Andy with the ace. Gonna get a little bit of action here. Imagine. Oh, MF might be choosing this spot to turn his 10 into a bluff. Get a better 10 to fold. Andy quickly makes the call. Tian gets out of the way. MF probably picking up on how quickly Andy made that call. See if he wants to continue bluffing. He does not. Andy thinking about what he wants to do. Could MF have a flush draw? MF with not a lot behind. I think it's really the only choice. I don't think MF's going to check the better aces. He might check some of the worse aces. Bluff it didn't work out.
You already held me 4.
And still up the most.
He tried to get you to fold.
3.5K. Andy up 1.2K. And Justin now very close to being even after starting off down a little bit. Everyone else down at least 1,000. Not too bad. No one's stuck heaps yet. MF having a hand he wished he had in the last flop. It looks like MF opened to 25 and he's 3-betting the king queen. I don't know if it's a straddle or like we have a new dealer coming in, Russ. Russ will be coming in. Once again, we will like to inform you about another promotion TCH Social will be doing at their new location in Austin next Wednesday when they open up. $500 high hands every 15 minutes starting at noon, last payout at 5 p.m. That's ridiculous. Every 15 minutes, $500
You can't raise every hand.
given away.
Old ace queen, whatever.
That's a lot of money to give away. $10,000 just for a high hand. I'm going to try and get some of it. Hopefully some of y'all will join me on opening day. Try and get some of that money too. That's a lot of money.
That's a good move.
Every 15 minutes, $500 given away.
Sometimes a queen comes and everything's fine.
Looks like the bear has decided to relocate to the real deals previously. Changing up the juju. As long as the players don't play a complicated game of musical chairs, I don't mind players changing around seats. But when people start going, I want that seat, no, I want that seat, then it takes 15 minutes for everyone to figure out what seat they're going to sit in, that's when it gets out of hand.
I have jacks. I have all my jacks, right? I have some of my tens probably. Like,
Do you ever do ace ten?
no, I have ace 5 more than ace
Justin and Andy talking about the strategy behind the
10. I'm
hand.
not really bluffing this dude, right? I'm just gonna gonna have a good hand.
It's always really interesting when players are open about
When you shout back, I don't. Oh, fuck me up.
I mean, yeah, but
the theory or strategy behind how they play in certain spots.
fold and have jacks.
Especially with people you play with on a regular basis, I imagine a lot of players want to hide that information.
So bad.
But it's always fun to discuss it with different people. How you would play hands,
I don't know. It's really close. Like,
What-
turnover kings?
what people have. It's in a much more casual game setting. This happens a lot more frequently.
Turn over the aces, I fold you.
It's a lot more fun.
Turn over aces, I fold you. That's it.
Oh. It looks like we have a super sticker purchased. Thank you, little fair lady. Thank you for the, what I believe is a donation. Justin opening the floor is getting 3-bet small by Isaac, or 4-bet small by Isaac. Kings, and not a great flop for Kings. It's always painful when this happens. But you have to continue. You have the range advantage. Justin still has a ton of worse hands that can call. Such a small bet. Justin probably peels once. Now with a gut shot. Full house draw. Isaac gonna pot control a little bit. Justin looking for a favorable river. That is not it. I imagine this river's just gonna go check check. Small pot. Still a good pickup for kings. Got a little bit of value when he could.
I think I could jack 5.
Good little pickup with 2 kings on an ace-high board for Isaac.
I had 2 fours.
Ace magnets. Always feels like it comes ace-high when you have 2 kings. No straddle this hand, and he just opening the queen 4 suited.
6 raises, 6 5, 8 folds, 1 fold,
Isaac with the mystery hand, 3 betting. And he's showing the 4 as he mugs.
Full of 4? Why are you full of 4?
You exposed on purpose.
Not a big fan, not a big.
He's attacking this image.
I need to make sure that my image is good. Lessons. Four folds, 5 folds. 6 raises, 15, 8 folds, 9 folds, 1
I
fold.
don't see a face card.
2 hours. You literally just said you had jack 2 fours.
Oh, yeah. Liar.
Thank you, sir.
Would have blocked this.
Nice. Easy.
They came down?
Yeah, that's what I can.
So, still be 25.
This is his last hand.
What happened? What?
He says it's last hand.
So, he has.
Whenever he gets
after
up.
this end.
After this end.
Whenever he gets up.
After this end.
I have a 10, some 5.
That's like, because it gives him.
Negative service. 6 hands, 7, 8 folds, 9 raises, 35, 1 fold, 2 folds.
Hey, Uncle.
See you tomorrow.
Later.
4 folds, 5 folds, 35.
Sorry about that. Looks like little heads up action. Gut shot in the middle pair. Gut shot comes right in. No waiting. As Catman style. When he makes his hands, no waiting. Clean run out for the Catman. See if he can get any more value. Hot size bet. Justin with not a great hand to call with. Really, it only beats missed clubs, busted clubs. Or a hand like Jack 10.
Flip it.
Does make the call though. Showing the bad news.
4-6. 4-6.
Players always disappointed at the runouts when they fold trash hands. Oh man, I had 4-6. But it was folded.
No 40? If you do 40, I'll do
You gotta watch what you do when you react to some of this. Sometimes people be making those faces, especially when they would have flopped quads or something.
Oh, save you 80, huh?
Can't give away too much information because
4 raises it.
the players in the hand got to play the hand.
6 folds.
How did you finish?
2 friends at it. The bear with the 10-8 defending versus the jack 6 of clubs. Was ahead before, now it's way ahead with the flush draw. I imagine this is going to be all it takes.
4 bets.
Bear deciding to float with 10 high. Hopefully he doesn't. Well, he doesn't need to do anything now, making the best hand. I was gonna say, hopefully he doesn't decide on refereeing clubs if they come through with this call. And stuck with just jack high.
Yeah.
Still
Short stack.
can make the best hand with a club or
I was talking earlier too.
a jack. Probably. Clean run out for the 10, all things considered. I imagine a lot of Tian's King X holdings would have bet the turn. Trying to get worse hands to fold. Will he try and represent this? King High doesn't have a lot of. Oh, this is too small of a bet. Probably trying to make it look like value. The bear probably has just enough hand to not give up. You can fold the hand like 6s, 5s. 10's too strong. Yeah, decides on the call. Pair 10s, good enough to take the pot down and get rid of his knit button. Definitely not a knit for floating the 10-8 high on 2 clubs.
If you bet 325,
And here comes the justification or the argument.
No, I was actually thinking about raising it.
If I bet that about
It was
you,
such a
think about
small bet.
Rizia.
okay, guys. Since we just played the Nick game, if you guys want, we can pause for a second for them to come in, because technically, well, they all coming in right now. So,
It looks like we're gonna get 2 more players too.
like with off this hand, once everyone
Love
sits
to have
down,
full game. Wait for everyone to play the knit game.
I mean, because he won a hand. Yeah, that's it for my hand. The table.
Yeah. What's the table? It doesn't matter.
Also,
Well, I mean, I thought you had to. Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, give Tim 2 nipples.
Bear seems to love this queen. Maybe it's his favorite hand. Queen 7 suited. Computer hand. Oh, everybody has favorite hands. I can't fault anybody for raising their favorite hand and stuff.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Like, he's still working.
You okay, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Small, no straddle.
6 folds.
Yeah, no problem.
Couple of hands going to the flop. Queen right in the window for the bear. No one really has much of anything else.
5 checks, 8 bets.
It's gonna be a bet and take it.
Upset up front. So basically,
New player at the table.
Looks like 580. 580.
are you adding on or are
We
you adding on?
take
or-
this time to
Okay. Well, yeah, because
show you the last promotion that we have for the new TCH Social in Austin.
So for Nick Camp,
They will be offering a $10 annual membership, which is normally $300. Opening day
you're gonna receive
$10
so anytime that you
for the entire year membership. That's a great deal. I personally will be taking advantage of
Then
this.
you show your hand. Then
You
get
normally
to
pay, most places charge you
whoever's
$10 to
the
walk in the
last
door.
one,
$10 for the whole year.
5
Sign me up.
per player as a
So come on down.
which is the penalty. So you try
Next
to get rid of
Wednesday, the
them as soon
28th,
as
it's
possible.
TCH Social, a new location in Austin, and take advantage of all the promos they're running.
4 call, 4 raise to 30, 5 raise to 100, 6 folds.
Back in the action, Tien versus Justin again, round 2. This time, Tien's Ace Queen is the best hand.
That's
Does decide to call now that they're a little bit deeper.
4 checks. 5, that's 80.
Ace Queen's still the best. Justin with the only heart in neither player's hand. Tien going to float one time probably. Great card for Justin, holding the Ace of Hearts.
5 checks.
Ace Queen High still good. I wonder if Justin's going to fire at it. Thinks his Ace High is good enough showdown value.
What?
Realizes he, had,
Fool me once. Nuts.
he could have gotten away with it if he decided to pull the trigger. I'm kind of surprised he didn't. The turn's just
Queen no more.
the turn was a great.
Cut over against the bottom. I can go there, right?
I just don't.
Cut over against the bottom and course line. That spot is different. That spot is totally different. This area.
Yeah, and being very animated. Looks like our new player in seat 1 will be Amir.
Well, I'll throw away that.
Welcome, Amir.
4 plays. 20. 5 folds, 6 calls, 20. 8 calls.
Again, continuing to pick up hands now with 2-9.
Yeah, I don't know if I can come in mid round or not.
You
We played one hand.
You just, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, we all still have.
getting rid of the buttons.
Yeah.
No, I guess we collecting buttons.
Okay, I mean, we have 2 players just out of it, and then if you're okay with it, then you
Quarter?
Huh?
25?
Yes.
Looks like another player has joined as well. Not a great flop for 9s or turn, even though he has way the best hand with the only spade. Plenty of showdown value. The bear wants it more though. He's going to overbet it
4 folds, 6 folds.
and gets it through. 8 high like a boss. Going to show it too.
I can't do anything.
Justin shocked that he did not have a royal flush.
Call?
Do you have your player's card, sir?
You got a best hand.
Yes.
Hero call with my fucking knight on this spot.
Give him the nip button back.
Our player in the 7th seat will be Big Hurt.
Oh, no phone? Oh, gotcha.
Currently being informed about the no phone policy. Want to make sure the players are extra protected. Don't want
Andrew, you want to double me up real quick?
people
Well, can I at least
watching the stream or relaying
It's okay.
things.
Let's do this, right? You double him up first, and then I take the rest.
Okay. Well, catch one time.
10 from seat 2.
They're discussing how the chips should be moved from player to player. Andy,
taking it after I double up?
oh, in the straddle.
Fold from 6.
Oh, no one saw that. No one saw that Andy has aces in the straddle.
8 raises.
The bear with a mystery hand.
Folds.
Gonna bump it up.
1 folds. 2 raises it to 135.
Andy with a big raise. Certainly with as active as he's been. I imagine the mystery hand is going to give him some action. Andy's been pretty active. It's what you want.
8 folds.
Someone to give you action when you have the best starting hand in poker. Just need it to hold up. Pretty good looking flop for 2 aces. Especially with the ace of diamonds.
100.
They're going to make the call with a mystery hand. A lot of hands you could have here. Great card for Andy. Doing the coveted diamond check. Gonna continue going for value.
2 bets, 225.
Close to half pot. Andy has an underpair to the 10. It's gonna be hard. Yeah. Andy showing the Catman that he won with aces.
He paid that booster. Keep it. Need
You
about.
should do that. Aces, you can't get rid of your net.
I studied yesterday.
I agree with Justin. If you have aces, you can't get rid of your nib button. It's just too easy. It's just way too easy.
After he barrel,
Then you can call me.
after he barrel, then you can say, oh, okay, I'm going.
Need study more.
It's just too easy to get rid of your nib button with
Yeah,
aces.
go home study.
Queens, kings. It's too easy.
Sometimes the books
10 from seat 4.
is
Jacks is
on
hard.
sale because-
Tens is hard.
No, I saw
Ace king, it's hard.
Yeah,
Aces, not hard.
5, raise it to 35.
It would make the game interesting though if you couldn't, if there were hand restrictions on the mid game. I don't know how you'd make that fair. I mean, I guess it's not really fair. It's just making the game more interesting.
2 folds, 4 folds.
I guess you'd have to put really big hand restrictions. You could do all sorts of leveling to make the mid game more interesting with hand restrictions. And how about this for a flop? Top pair, good kicker, versus middle set. Small bet from the bear. Justin gonna check raise this top pair, good kicker. Unfortunately, he's run right into it. Music to the bear's ears. Without the 8 of clubs too, Justin could have all the 8x of clubs, all the straight draws. See how he wants to play it. Just calls. Not a bad turn for the bear, but 10-9 does come in. Justin, if he thinks he has the best hand, certainly going to continue here. The question is, what is the bear going to do? Justin has a hand that he deems worthy of continuing with. You have one of the strongest hands you're going to have here. How to get more money. That is the game. Decides on a call. A clean run out for the 8s, all things considered. Yep, only losing to 10-9. Justin doesn't have jacks very often. Time to go for some value when he checks to you. But he's going to have a lot of missed clubs here. Maybe some top pairs. I don't think he needs to go very big for value or for bluffing. Justin has one of the worst hands he could have for a calling candidate with the king of clubs in his hand. So depending on how big his bet is, that looks like a pretty hefty bet. 750 into about 1,200, 1,100. Tough spot. Just thinking about whether or not the bear would bet aces, kings, or queens, go for value on this. I don't know how often Justin would check a straight here. Looking to check raise. I think he would just bet it because it's going to check through so often. So the bear's hand's going to be really strong here. And Justin knows that, especially when he's holding the king of clubs. 9-10 of clubs would play the hand this way. I think sets of 8s, deuces, and jacks would all play the exact same way. I think the question Justin's going to ask is how often is the bear betting one pair? And how often is he bluffing? Because if he's not betting one pair and he's bluffing a lot, he does decide on the call. And it's shown the bad news. Unfortunate for Justin. With the one uptick with ace king and now has run into it again. A good pickup for the bear. Nice pot. Getting value. First top pair, good kicker.
All set, no bet.
Still, you did you keep the lead box. Still be a lead. No set, no bet.
I was just checking.
I hated the bottom struggle. It's so hard for the bind.
These players are so
So tough.
aggressive.
Limited live over.
And with some of the hands they've shown up with, I don't fault them for calling.
Buttons on seat 1.
It really comes down to how often he thinks the bear's going to bluff. And I think Justin settled that he's going to be bluffing way too often.
7 folds. 8 folds. 9 raises it to 16. 1 fold. 2 folds.
4 folds.
4 folds.
5
5
folds.
folds.
Seems to be an unexciting hand developing so far. I hear a lot of folds from Russ.
6 all 16.
Big hurt in the mirror. Yet to get some money in the pop. Everyone else still over with the high V pips. Jan and the bear leading the bunch. Catman and Andy following close behind. Isaac still in the 20s, although he has improved. I'm excited to see if Big Hurt and Amir want to join in on the action. I believe it looks like Catman was shipped. I wonder if the Nick game still paused. It's always a weird dynamic when new players enter the table, but a Nick game was started on whether or not they take a button or wait. It kind of sucks to make new players wait, but it also kind of sucks to take a button when a player or two have already gotten rid of theirs. I mean, you've missed several hands and several opportunities. Big Hurt open folding sevens. Early position. Batman with sixes and Amir with King Jack suited.
1 raises it. 2 folds, 4 folds, 5 folds. 6 folds.
Looks like we're going to war.
9 folds.
As a flip. 50-50, dead even. Sixes, way out in front, although not a bad flop for the King Jack. 2 overs and a gut shot. Amir could go either way. Checker bet.
1 bet's 80.
Likes to bet small.
I folded on monster.
Then shows his hand and gives up his button.
Queen 8 diamond.
Just like that, he's out.
Queen 8 diamond.
That easy, guys. 3 bet. You're out of the Nick game. Hope everyone's enjoying the stream tonight. It's 2-5 no limit hold'em game at Texas Card House Houston. Had some good pots, some good action. Still plenty of time left in the stream for more action and more good pots.
9 folds. 1 fold, 2 folds. 4 folds. 5
Justin
calls.
limping. Trying to get rid of his knit button.
Calls. 7 raises it to 55.
Big Hurt waking up with ace king in the straddle.
5 folds. 6
And Isaac defending his knit button. These knit buttons play such an important role in getting a couple more hands in the range. And Justin would have flopped big. Pair and a flush draw. Ace king high is still the best hand.
and at 60.
Isaac with the ace of diamonds could think about calling. Or, oh, he's going to raise. Knowing Big Hurt can't have the nut flush draw. Can rep those diamonds if he needs to. He's going to have a lot more 10x's, 9x's. Big Hurt not a believer. Correctly makes the call with ace king high. Terrible turn for the ace king. I think with Isaac's hand, this is just a must bet. Justin would have turned to flush and had an open-ended straight flush draw.
6 bets.
And Isaac gonna get it through with his open-ended straight draw on the flush on the turn. Good play by Isaac, getting rid of his knit button. It's hard to hold on sometimes with ace king. I think Big Hurt was looking to call down some turns and rivers, but not the jack of diamonds. A lot of the hands Isaac check raises with are going to connect with that. 7-8 diamonds, jack 10, queen jack. Now no longer ahead of any of those hands. Good give up.
I have a 10 from C8 and a 20 from C9. One folds, 2 folds.
TM
4 raises it to 60. 5 calls.
Dan and Justin have been battling
7 folds.
all night.
8 calls 60. 9 calls 60. Eight checks, 9 checks. 4 bets 100, 5 folds.
10 high betting. The bear not giving up his pair just yet. It's
C1.
a club would be very interesting. Would have been a very interesting turn.
Check.
Dan stuck with just 10 high.
Four bets 405.
Big bet from Dan. Gets the job done.
I knew. Is it just you and I, Justin?
It looks like it's heads up. Big Hurt versus Justin for the knit game. This is when some of the most interesting hands happen because of this dynamic here. I don't know if Justin and Big Hurt are willing to go bananas over it. It's a matter of pride, not losing the knit game. I've risked way too much money to not lose in that game and still lost. You just paid the $200 and be done.
4 raises 75. 5 folds.
This is what we want. Big hands for everybody. Big hands for everybody. Perfect time to wake up with a big hand. Especially with your knit button with Justin folded. This looks really suspicious.
Folds. 9 folds.
This is the type of dynamic where the nit game really helps you when you have a big hand. And he's thinking about everything. I mean, Big Hurt doesn't have a whole lot in his stack left, and he may think he's just making a move with the nit button. Lets it go. TM may just decide to gamble with it all, knowing, yep. Good time to get kings.
One time he said.
They're gonna go one time.
Yeah, I just looked at this. Very sweet.
Queen on the flop. Good safe flop for the kings. Now he's the faded diamond. Oh, a 10 on the river. Oh. And the nit game is gonna continue. Good catch by Tian. Unfortunate river for Big Hurt. That's he got the big hurt put on him.
Good thing I missed the show.
I don't want to associate with that, but
That was unfortunate timing and run out. Or it was fortunate timing, rather. An unfortunate run out. It's the perfect spot you want to be in. You're second to last in the nit game, or you're battling heads up in the nit game. The other nit player, the person in the nit game folds. And it looks like you're just making a super light 4-bet. Big Hurt, I imagine, very capable of doing so. And tens is looking real good versus that type of squeeze play, especially it's so short.
Actually, he needs to pay that.
20.
Tim will take care of it.
20 from 4.
He needs to pay that.
Yeah.
I think Big Hurt will be done for the night. I don't blame him. That was painful. Poker be cruel sometimes. The best hand always won. It wouldn't be poker. And kings for the Catman with a $20 straddle on. And gonna give him action with all reds.
Weakness. Use the red chips. Weakness.
Saying it's weakness. Safe flop for kings.
9 checks.
I like the tech. I like the check by the Catman. Giving Tien some rope. Doesn't need to bloat the pot. And checking is gonna let Tien bluff at it exactly like he's doing now. With Jack High. I imagine Tim's gonna keep letting Tien hang himself. Tien's really just trying to get ace high to fold now. Ace king, ace queen, ace jack high. Maybe a hand like a pair of 4s, 3s, or 2s. Most certainly not gonna work on 2 kings. Tim makes the call. Obviously a great river card for 2 kings. Lessening the chance that Tien has a 5. Good check by Tien. Not a great card for the bluffer to bluff it, typically when the trips run out. It becomes much harder to represent that 5 when there's one less 5 out there. And people also just don't like to fold full houses. I don't. It's hard to make. Especially one as good as what Catman had.
Bashing pop.
Getting people to fold full houses is really hard. It's just not something I advise you to try and do.
That's the splash pot.
This will be the splash pot for the Nick game, which was unfortunately lost by the big hurt when he decided to depart. Will anyone put up interesting straddles with the extra 200 out? It gives you that extra incentive to be the last one to act in these big hands. It's not much more. Like if someone's got the 10 on, put the 20 on. Be the last person to act, just in case, just in case. Gamble it up. I'm not advocating straddling by any chance, but I am advocating straddling.
Actually, for me, it's a normal 3-bet. For me, it's a normal 3-bet.
Straddling's good. Well, not the butt. That's a whole different conversation. Butt straddle versus under the gun straddle. Under the gun straddle's good game. I don't like the button straddle.
Wait, what is that?
Him with a big hand with the extra money out there. We have some gambling. The old pump fake. Now the bear deciding what he wants to do with the 10-9 off. Not a great spot to be in with the 10-9 off. It was unusual to see the normal raise sizings from the players in the splash pots. It's so much more money. It's just giving people such incredibly good odds to call. I'm used to these larger raises. And out flops the Catman. Great flop for the 10-9. Check, check. A great turn. Tim needs a king or a queen. All in all, it's a great river. I don't think there's a whole lot of value that the bear can get with Tim checking all the way down. Because Tim's made hands are going to be really strong. A hand like pocket sevens or queen jack. They're just content realizing their equity. So I think you're just going to get a lot of folds by getting here. But what do I know? I would have liked to seen the bear check and let Tim turn some of his hands in the bluffs, like king queen, where you're blocking the straight. King jack, king queen, ace jack, ace queen. All those hands could be turned into bluffs. You're blocking.
But I still can beat him. That's for sure.
It's true, the 6-8 was a worse two pair. Better two pair on the turn.
Wait, what first card is he?
The reader's
Isaac saying no to the suited king this time. And again with the wheel ace. Non-suited on the button. Tien 3-betting the ace jack. Amir's thinking about making a move. Just let's go. Lots of wheel aces tonight. Lots of wheel aces. Non-suited ones. A couple of suited ones. Lots of non-suited wheel aces. Tien, still the big winner. Up 4.2K. No. Andy still up 1,500. The bear now in the green after that big hand with Justin and then that splash pot with Tim. Namir up a little bit. Everybody else losing. Still plenty of stream left though. All those numbers can change. The bear was at the bottom. Now he's at the top. That could easily change for everybody. But Tien's having a good night. Good night. I believe the $40 straddle's on. Now Tien wakes up with a big hand with the $40 straddle on. I always get way too excited when I look at any pair and there's a big straddle on. It doesn't matter what the pair is. If I look at deuces and there's a $100 straddle on, I'm like, oh man, I have a pair. It's hard to make a pair. Takes it down with the 2 kings.
Never ball. Never ball. Never ball.
I don't think the guy saying never bluff nit is actually never bluffing or nit. But sometimes you just need to advertise. Let them know. Yeah, I just get way too excited at any pair on the big straddle pots.
Fat call here. Maybe somebody squeezed. Maybe somebody squeezed. Fat call here.
It's gonna come at the flop.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe somebody squeezed here. I flat call. Yeah, Tim will do that. And Ling, I mean, call the open, then do the fucking 4-bet.
Tim with another big hand right after. And I believe the 20 straddle's on. And Justin, unfortunately, running into it again. Justin's so short, I imagine Tien's just going to rip it. See all 5 cards. Yep. Exactly what Justin did not want to see. Does he want to gamble? Nope. No gamble. Rough night for Justin. Tien's had his number tonight. Outside of the ace, the original ace king, ace queen hand.
The flop is ace jack something.
Yeah, ace jack something, ace jack king. Right? Ace jack something, ace jack king.
Big hands for Tien though.
The pair is a jack.
All around.
What is the ace? That's the
Seems to be in the hot seat.
I have to 4-bet here, but you don't have too much. You have to do a normal 4-bet you jam by yourself? Yes? No.
It's so rough too with these big straddles when you have such a shallow stack. Because if there's a $40 straddle on and you only have $1,000, you're raising to 125 bucks already. So a 3-bet's going to be a third or half your stack. It does make the games more interesting. And just picking up hand after hand. Kings, then ace king, then jacks. And now Justin with ace king right after, running into Tien's jacks. And they can't do anything but get the money in here with the straddle. They're gonna run it twice. It is the classic race. That's a good flop for the jacks. Looking for an ace or a king. And Justin is drawing dead on the first board. Top full house for Tien. All of Justin's kings or aces are still alive.
Ace, king, chop.
Another safe flop for the jacks. Justin with the king of hearts has extra outs, and jacks will hold on both runouts. Wow, Tien just picking up monsters after monsters. Unfortunate. Good try by Justin. Unfortunately, he just ran into it tonight. I believe he will be done with the stream. I hope he good luck with whatever he decides to do for the evening. Enjoyed having him on the stream.
No. You can't move. You can't move. That's the rule.
Oh, now people are trying to move again. It seems another game of musical chairs is inbound. Andy is going to take Justin's seat, seat 5. Hopefully a little seat shuffle will change it up for him.
I'm folding kings this
Just a brutal day for some. Tien really kind of steamrolling the table now. Making the right moves. Making the big hands. I mean, this is the type of session you want as a poker player. Your big bluffs are getting through.
I'm giving enough action.
Your big hands are holding up.
I'm giving enough action.
Yeah, Tien, you've been given plenty of action. Plenty of action.
Andy 80 here?
Andy with the $40 straddle on. Amir's turn with the kings with the $40 straddle on. I mean, Amir only has 40 big blinds. Not that everyone thinks about it. Andy's most certainly going to call out the straddle with the 10-9 of clubs in position. And top set for Amir. Now, how to get the most? Andy with just a gut shot. Just lets it go. Just lets it go. And Amir shows one king.
I hit a jack. I have jack 6 off here. I have jack, maybe a winner.
Shows one king. Good fold by Andy, though.
So maybe a winner.
Maybe a winner. I have jack 6
Oh.
off too.
Could have been much more disastrous for him.
Oh, you have king? Oh, you should.
Amir being honest, letting him know that he had 2 kings.
Was not the first guy sitting there? Was he
These-
always gonna leave?
These straddles are really going to take over the action, 6-handed. I mean, 3 or 4 players are in the blinds. I imagine there'll be a little bit more battling, even though there's already been a lot of battling. I just think there should be a little bit more light battling.
He goes to the bathroom when he's bottom was
Those V-pips still sky high for all the players that were above 30%, still above 30%. Tim getting after it with the 7 deuce. I do not believe the 7 deuce game is on. Tian showing some restraint, very physically. Tim resisting the urge to show the 7 deuce. I don't know how you, with no 7 deuce game on, you can't just raise and show it. Normally it's something he would show. I mean, if I'm ever playing a 7 deuce game with myself and I get it through, I show it. Sometimes you just, the only one playing the 7 deuce game is you. You gotta get in there. King, I guess they're just passing kings around. Isaac's turn with the Cowboys. Oh, Bear is gonna run into it. 6-handed monsters. The way the Bear's been playing, I imagine Isaac is going to put in another bet, especially being out of position. She's around 300, I imagine. Much smaller than I anticipated. This is a very small 4-bet. The Bear should have a very strong range here too when he 3-bets. A king high flop would be disastrous for the Bear. Top pair, top kicker, and a 4-bet pot. 2 kings, a great hand to be holding on this board, but you lose to a lot of the sets that the Bear could have. Although I don't know how often he's 3-betting 9s here. Really hoping the Bear has a hand like Ace King, Ace Queen, Ace Jack, even pocket queens. There's the hands that Isaac is targeting. The Bear has just enough hand to call. Thinking maybe an Ace King. Definitely a Queen would be good. 7 of diamonds doesn't really change a whole lot. I don't think either of these players have an 8 very often. Maybe the Bear has 9-8 suited, some in pocket 8 some percentage of the time, but not all the time. I imagine, yeah, Isaac's going to continue to go for a value. He goes for a big bet. 2/3 pot, it looks like. Really targeting the top pair and queen holdings and the ace high holdings of the Bear. Playing this well. I think he knows exactly where the Bear is at in this hand. I think he's also set himself up enough room in this hand to fold if the Bear has a set. Maybe, I don't know, or he might just think it's just a cooler. The Bear doing some math. Makes it disciplined, but good fold. Isaac winning a reasonable size pot with 2 kings. Shows him. Lets the Bear know he made a great fold. Tien, the big winner tonight. And he's still been floating around his win from early on in the stream. And Tien's, all the chips seem to be flowing his way. Lost that one pot just and then got it back in another hand.
Can't see anything actually, so it's really just king queen.
I'm very curious as to what Isaac would have done if Tien had piled it on him. Or not Tien, the bear had piled it on him. Because kings no longer becomes value bet. I mean, the bear could have slow played aces. He could have jacks, tens, jack 10. I think the hand is very interesting. Andy 3-betting the king 9 and this six-handed poker dynamic is much more interesting, I think, than full. I like full-ring a lot, but the player's this aggressive, 3-betting and 4-betting all the time, creates for a lot of interesting things. This is going to look really interesting. It's so strong. Coming off of his last hand, cold 4-betting the 2 queens. Amir just most likely posturing. I think he's going to get it done. Yeah. Very aggressive players. Getting after it. This is what I like to see.
I didn't move there because you asked. I was gonna move there. I don't want to be an ass. Seat changing.
Isaac with the king jack. We're getting big hands short-handed too. Catman gonna get in there with the 7-3 suited. Ace high still way the best hand on the swap.
I will find out on the TV. Oh shit.
Isaac takes the lead though. Catman drawing dead. And he checks his top pair.
Yeah, I will find whatever.
I imagine Isaac is going to go for a little bit of value on the river, but no one has much of anything to call him. You're getting some big hands handed. Pair versus good ace. Cutoff versus button. We're going to war. Hard to make a pair in this game, especially six-handed. I don't think Tian's gonna let Andy win the spot easily. It's a good flop for deuces, all things considered. Andy not even taking some time to consider his options. Tian just checking his full house, just trying to get a showdown. Well, Andy just doesn't rep the. I wanted to see a little bit more fight from Andy in that pot. I think bet flop, bet river big could have put deuces in a real tough spot.
Double straddle.
$20 straddle. I believe the 20 will probably stay on for a while. I don't think I've ever really seen a player pick up their cards like that and then continue to play the hand. Not real big into live tells, but I'm pretty sure that's a live tell on the strength of someone's hand when they're up in the air looking at them.
You are fake ace queen, I bought it.
Isaac with my favorite hand that's in 7. Six-handed, perfectly fine to open it up with. The bear getting a little everybody has clubs now. I kind of want to see a 2-club flop. Get a little adrenaline pumping in my veins. The action that's going to ensue.
Really bad. Really bad. Really bad. I have kings. I can't call here. I have kings. Yeah, good four.
No clubs. Top pair versus bottom pair. Worst hand is the one betting, but he does have the betting lead. It's going to be hard for Isaac to win this one. You could try and rip flushes, but I think this hand's pretty much over. Yeah, it's most definitely over now. It's going to kill all the action. Isaac proudly announcing 10 high.
Nuts.
I didn't feel like giving you free money either.
I personally like tabling my hand and making the other player figure it out in spots like these. You just table it like it's the nuts, just bam. And they're like, huh? They gotta like double check, triple check. Oh yeah, it's 10 high. Yeah.
Like a 7, 4. 7 high. You good. What's you have?
Is it 9:30?
9:45. That's just on the screen.
Amir with a great suited. Everyone else has a 4. Amir with a great suited ace.
Very good. So good. I thought just knock the chips. He's kidding. Oh fuck! Fall upset. I fall upset.
Every hand feels like top set, 6-handed. Catman with just 4 high. He's not going to get it through either. Well, if Mir didn't call it, the king was going to call. The only way Catman can win this hand is by betting. He might be able to do it. Ace 5, not a great hand on this board. I mean, this is the type of board that you, in a single raise pot or limped pot, ace high just doesn't, or a pair of aces doesn't feel great. Now, if you make your 2 pair, you're gonna call down. I mean, Tim could very easily limp the button with a flush draw. I mean, this is the exact run out where Tim could, if Tim raises, you're just in a terrible spot. Yes, it's a strong hand. I would have liked to have seen him.
Probably good. One pair ace. Probably good.
It's just a tough spot. 2 pair on the run-ups, but he bet, took it down. I think I would have liked to see him check and let Tim stab at it. I mean, Tim's betting the whole way with air. He's gonna fold this air. Gotta keep letting him bet. I think a lot of people have that fear of letting something. They just don't want to face a big bet or something. I mean, this is coming from someone who loves to make hero calls. So, but I mean, sometimes you just gotta let people hang themselves. It's the only way you can make money. No one getting much of anything right now.
Yeah, I can talk about these.
6-handed poker is just so great. Every hand's quick. Lots, well, sometimes lots of action.
This feels like a setup hand.
A lot more actual poker being played in 6-handed. See the peep? Everyone wants to raise or should raise the button. You should have a lot more light defense from the straddle and the big line. A lot lighter 3 bets. It's a $75 straddle on, ladies and gentlemen. $75. The old 2, 5, 10, 75. And he wakes up with a hand. And he just calls. The bear just calls. Hoping Tim would make a move. Tim flopping the best of it. There's 2 overs and a good shot. Tim betting with the best hand. I don't think the bear can give up ace king right now. 2 overs and a gut shot. And a diamond. Oh, and he what an action turn. He drills it. And Tim, the Catman, now picks up a flush draw. The bear's hand is so disguised. I wonder how he's going to choose to play this hand. Because it's hard for Tim's hand to be super strong. But you, at the same time, you want to put more chips in the middle. The Bears hoping Tim has a hand like Queen 10, Queen Jack, 10, Jack 10. This is such a strong raise too from someone who just limped. Tim's thinking about the heart he needs to hit. I think a deuce or a jack would be. That's an action killing card. Although, because the Bears holding the ace of hearts, Tim doesn't have a lot of aces. Man, I guess he could have diamonds, ace high diamonds. That's kind of it. Bear trying to figure out how to get max value here. I don't. Tim, not in love with that river. Obviously, has a very easy fold. Hello, Phony Turgerson. How are you doing tonight? Good to see you in the chat again. Thanks for doing my job for me. And for one of y'all, if y'all haven't done it, hit that like button.
I think you can check over it. I think check is better.
It's only if you like it, like what you're saying. Hit that like button. If you don't, then you can listen some more.
I think so. Check it better.
How you doing tonight? Good to see you in the chat.
Nobody knows he has ace king here. That's the problem. I think we will check is better. That's it.
Give me please. So I am this is fun.
Wonder if Catman's gonna put any more really big straddles on. Late position with an ace. Great hand. Oh, there is a big straddle. There's $100 straddle on. Ace looking real good here. See, this is what I'm talking about. If I look down at any pair, no, you can't. You can't be folding six-handed. And just limping the ace king last time kind of helps him get another limp through. Flopping a monster. Top two pair. It's gonna be hard to get paid on this. That's a good turn for the Catman's hand. Two pair and a flush draw. Don't think the Bear can fold just yet. But it's gonna be hard to get paid here. I appreciate that, Oni Turgerson. And River's a full house. Very happy to see that. Checks it to Tim. The Catman can only win this hand by bluffing and gives up. Good give up. I like the note. I like the give up by the Catman. An 8's not gonna fold. A 7's probably not gonna fold. I mean, and when you shove, you just kind of run into a lot of big hands. Little frustration setting in for Tim with his straddles not panning out. Despite getting some natural hands, pretty good flops, turns.
If you call my open pretty well.
That put me up.
Yeah, you got that. I have ace-6. Ace-6.
That's true. Tian did have ace-6. That could have been a very, very big pot. Although I think if he had raised, I don't think 7-6 offsuit is gonna take a flop. I think ace-6 would have just raised and take it.
Maybe not. That's so deep. Maybe not.
It is fun to think about the what ifs. If we had both seen this flop like that. Andy with the 2-8s, raising it up. The bear just calling with the suited, and Tim with a dominated hand. With an extremely large 3-bet. And Andy goes all in. And Tim, the Catman, just wants to gamble, it looks like. Why not? Suited ace, 6-handed? That is a good flop for the ace-8 of clubs. That is a very good run out for the ace-8 of clubs. And the Catman does it again. Just when you think he's out, he's back in there. Gamble. Unfortunate run out for Andy, with the, especially dominating. Like, it's one of those spots where you get your money in and you think you're flipping. You're like, ah, he has ace king or ace queen. Turns out he has ace 8. You're like, oh man, I'm in such a great spot. He's fucking dead. Flops you dead. I feel like the Catman knows sometimes when he's gonna. He has like this weird 6th or 7th sense. Catman doing Catman things.
Two times? Two board?
Or maybe not, but at least you get a chance.
They only ran it once, and Andy was thinking about if they'd ran it twice. But I believe Andy is a run it once person.
He's not right.
From my experience playing with him.
You can't find out.
Stop, kill now. Oh, okay. Do not touch the card.
Action, 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 6-handed. That's what you want when. I mean, I guess coming from the person that's putting on the $100 and $75 straddle, that's what you want. Action. He gives action with the straddles, you give him action. The 20 is back on. We need suited. Yes, Eddie, you could see the frustration. Catman doing what Catman does. Fives picking up an uncontested small pot. I guess I did that at once. If I pick up $42 every time when I raise with 2 5s. Andy. And his cards got mucked. Unfortunate because he had some good ones. Isaac laying the 8-6 suited down. See, this is what I want from the A6 when it folds to you. These guys are getting it. You got to play a little street poker 6-handed. You can't just wait for premiums. Take it to the streets. Oh, that's sad for Andy. Andy would have played that hand too. Would have flopped a flush. No one really going to be able to give Bear any action. Huh? Bottom pair and a gut shot. I guess good enough to give some action. That kills it all. Oh, he's going to rep it. Tien is repping the flush. Hard to make a call. This store checks out. Checks out. Show the bluff. He shows the bluff. Good bluff. See, taking it to the streets. This is what I want to see more of. Players getting after it. Street poker. You don't have to have anything. Just, you think someone doesn't have it? Bluff them. Think you have the best hand? Raise. Throw theory out of the window.
4 call, 5 call.
Isaac with the real hand in the straddle. I don't imagine a lot of folding going to be done here. And he might fold this Juggernaut.
3 players.
Catman out flopping everybody.
1 fold.
Look at those V-pip numbers. That's when you know the game is good. You don't want people in the 20s. It's okay to have a couple people in the 20s. But when everyone's in the 30s and 40s, you know people are playing. They're putting money in. With hands other than pocket tens. But pocket tens they're going to put money in.
6 fold.
Button open. Okay. Oh! Looks like. And the Catman goes all in. Tien just nice.
How do you know?
How do you know my hand?
You know here I call.
You were dominating him.
Okay. 4-5. Suited.
You know here. Yes.
I think Tien's telling the truth. He would have called it.
You know what?
Bear wasn't behind him.
You can 100% sure.
I get my chips if you're at 7.
100% sure I have chance.
Sad he had to fold his tens. He's flipping. But with the jacks, as with the jacks from earlier, he was showing that he's willing to flip.
Balance my
I
range.
raise 50.
Yeah, you have to.
Andy with the nice suited ace on the button.
I will call your bad for sure.
All right, a couple clubs and a couple spades out there.
Sometimes I hate.
An all black flop will
1 call.
certainly bring some action.
I will call that for sure.
Yeah, I know.
I have chance.
Pocket tens now.
4 player.
Close. Close.
8 check, 9 check, 1 check, 5 check, check around.
Just a pair of eights so far.
8 check,
I think a pair of eights is still the best hand.
1 check, 5 check.
Remains the best hand. And we'll probably get to showdown. This is going to kill all the action.
Ace high.
8.
5 check.
8.
It's always fun. A single raise pot when it just checks through the scramble for who has the best hand at the end. Everyone just yelling. No one tables anything. Everyone just yells everything out.
I feel like I won only before his chips land.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, like, what's like this? Then you fold.
fuck they want.
Yeah, man.
Huh?
Yeah.
Aces.
Tim lying to them, even though they can come and look back at the stream.
You're not like me.
4 fold, 5 fold.
It is Catman aces. Ace King suited is
You don't double out while you're on kill.
6 3.
I will
Much
find
prettier.
out what you have on TV. That's it.
Live 9 call.
I think they're
I
gonna
will
watch
find
the
it on
stream.
TV.
Premium.
I Amir thinking about getting a little frisky.
Cause like that was a 3-bet on you, right? 3-bet.
I'm just open and you 3-bet. You 3-bet. He 4.
Taking it to the streets with the 7 deuce. There's no 7 deuce game on.
You want to join here?
See how Isaac wants to play this in position. He could go with either. He could raise or call.
He's gonna 4-bet you.
Amir hasn't really shown him a reason
4-5.
to think that he's getting out of line here.
I have 10. You have 4.
Maybe the bluff is good.
Who knows?
Bobby's like
Great flop for jacks.
check.
All the big overs, fists.
Yeah, 4, 4, 5, aces.
You're headed tens.
Just be 4-5. Just be 4-5 10. 4-5 10. I take that.
Club 8, 8.
4-5 10.
Trying to stack his friend, wishing for a certain flop.
Stacking you with 4-5 10.
And a lot of 5 over turn. A lot of 5 over turn.
Amir going for it with the 7 deuce.
It's gonna be a
I don't.
4-5
6-handed, Isaac certainly not going to fold. Gonna at least see a turn. A 10 would be interesting. Oh, that's such a great card for Amir. He should. If he's gone this far, I think he's going to continue with the story. I have a big hand. I caught this card. It's going to be so tough for Isaac to continue to, because it's going to hit Amir so. Yeah, this is so rough.
1-bet 500.
This is going to be good for the game, though, if he shows it. If he bets jacks folds, and I hope he shows it. Yeah. Oh, and he shows the 7 deuce.
That's it.
I know Isaac smiled at that. Even though he folded, I know Isaac smiled.
20, 40, 80.
That's a good game. You have someone playing the 7 deuce game with himself.
All in.
Call.
Good job, Amir. Repping the 7 deuce fam. Isaac finally opening it up.
What's the bottom?
Catman squeezing with the beautiful Broadway.
Down the middle. Down the middle.
I don't imagine the bear giving up his hand just yet. In position with the suited ace.
Yeah, that's correct.
6 fold. 8 call.
Pick me, you know.
Let's go.
Two overs in a gutter and an open-ended straight draw.
9-bet 300.
Over betting the pot. Wonder what Catman is trying to represent with the overbet. Wow, and it worked. He gets the fold. Good overbet by Catman. Thank you all for joining me this evening for this 2-5 No Limit Holdem stream at Texas Card Out Houston. Had a blast this evening commentating, watching this game. Sad that it got a little short at the end, but still providing plenty of action. Got a couple more hands left in the stream for y'all.
4.
Once again, the scramble. Scramble for who has the best hand. in the small and significant pot.
Shadow on. My rate 30.
A normal sized open, a reasonable hand. Amir gonna
One call.
oblige. A big hand again, if you can.
4 reds, 150.
Andy, sad. He sees a playable hand and has to let it go.
9 call.
Catman, I'm gonna call. I believe this price is gonna bring Amir along too. In position, no, he decides to let it go. And what a flop it would have been for Amir.
9 check.
Great turn. And Andy would have flopped the nuts.
4 check. 9 check.
Tim's gonna try and realize his equity. Terrible run out for queens.
9 check.
And that's gonna win.
Four nuts.
I believe it.
With that, we only have 2 more hands left for this evening. Hello, River Rat. Love you too. Thank you for the love. Appreciate it. Roger in here with me tonight.
I need a small. I really need a small. 4 fold.
Hopefully these last 2 hands will give some Andy. Bumping it up over the $20 straddle. Getting at it. Catman with a good defending hand in the straddle. Battle of the eights. 9 high remains the best hand with a gut shot. Bet and take it. Best hand wins. Love it. Love it when the best hand's bluffing.
It's my fault for not raising you on the flop. I jacked. Yeah, I know. I played it
With
like
that, this will be our last hand for the evening. Once again, thanks to all of you out there for joining me tonight. It's DT in the booth.
You want time?
Sure.
One time, please. 1 fold. 4 fold. 5 reds, 75.
Andy, the straddle gonna make it interesting. And Tim, the Catman with the ace king suited again, just rips it. Does Andy want to gamble?
I just like took him a second to think.
Okay.
Oh, what a last hand. Andy could gamble with. I mean, he's flipping with a lot of the pairs. I mean, he's 33% against the ace king. I mean, it sucks to have his hearts dominated. Does Andy want to gamble? Queen 9 suited, a fine gambling hand. He wants to gamble.
Very good. Ace good.
What a last hand of the evening. Ace King versus Queen 9 of Hearts. All in pre-flop. I believe they're only running it once. Ace Queen 7. Andy needing some help. Queen or a 9. That's going to be it. The Catman. A nice pickup in the last hand of the evening. Wow. What a way to end the stream. Thanks again, guys, for joining me tonight for this 2-5 no limit hold'em game at Texas Card House Houston. I will see you all next time.